represent that is something that I can't wrap my mind around quite yet, but very honored that they would choose me.
3, 2, 1, ready!
So today is a culmination of relationship since the summertime with Visit Tampa Bay. So we're doing this as a grand opening. I'm really excited. There's just been a lot of work and design and idea behind how we wanted this space to look. It's just been fantastic. Really looking forward to finally getting the kids in here next week to teach.
We want to spread these out throughout our county, and we want to make sure that our partners are engaged, because it has to live outside these walls of the classroom. It has to be about mentorship. It has to be about apprenticeship. It has to be about providing opportunities for the young people who are learning here in the classroom to get out in the real world and experience that industry live and in person.
We have a huge percentage of people who are going to end up in this industry in one way or another, right? Whether you're a barista, whether you are working in an amusement park, you could be at a hotel, you could be at a cruise ship, and you end up in this industry, and it's a lot of fun to see the kids be able to explore their options and then see that I can still be a lawyer and then also travel and work for the Marriott, for instance, or work at Busch Gardens or any of the amusement parks and still, yes, get a 4-year degree.
You know, the hard work that goes on in making this happen, I can't tell you how proud we are of our school system, partnering with our school system, with our district administration, with our school administration here, and obviously then all the partners that are coming together to make this work. It really shows what a special community we have and we live in.
Hi, I'm Nadia Combs, school board member representing District 1. You're watching Hillsborough Schools TV, and together we're preparing students for life.
Jessica Vaughn, Chair of the Hillsborough County School Board. I want to welcome you to Hillsborough County Public Schools. We serve more than 200,000 students, including children starting with our early learning programs and continuing with adults through our workforce programs.
I'm Karen Perez, the school board's vice chair. Our district is the 7th largest in America, and our team is made up of 24,000 people working at close to 250 sites across the country. Nuestro distrito es séptimo más grande de los Estados Unidos y el tercero más grande en el estado de Florida. Nuestro equipo está formado por 24 millones de personas que trabajan en cerca de 250 escuelas en todo el condado.
Our district is diverse and dedicated. Our board meetings are held in our board auditorium on select Tuesdays at 4 p.m. The best way to serve our students and our community is to involve you, the public, in what we do.
You are welcome to meet or email any of our board members and follow our district on social media. School board meetings are covered live by Hillsborough Schools TV on Spectrum 635 and Frontier Channel 32.
Meetings are also streamed live on our website at hillsboroughschools.org. Closed captioning is provided on all broadcasts, and past meetings are available in our online archive.
We are interested in what the public has to say. We'll include time for audience comments before we address our business items. Our agenda and any supporting materials can be viewed online in advance. They are posted 7 days before each meeting on our website at hillsboroughschools.org. Our vision is preparing students for life, and that means all students every day. Todos los estudiantes, todos los días. Thank you for your interest in education. With your help, we are making decisions that shape our community's future.
The board meeting of December 17th, 2024 is called to order. Member Perez will now lead us in a moment of reflection, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I chose the following quote for tonight because it emphasizes the importance of support, compassion, and understanding, especially during difficult times like post-hurricane recovery and the holiday season. It conveys a message of unity and care, highlighting the positive impact that empathy and solidarity can have on one's mental health. During the holiday season, let us remember that support, compassion, and understanding are powerful gifts we can offer to those recovering from challenges. Together, we can create a warm and caring environment that nurtures the mental well-being of our community as they continue to rebuild and heal from the impact of Hurricane Milton and any other trauma that may be impacting their lives. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you so much. Member Perez, will you please acknowledge our student entertainment?
I would like to thank the Gaither High School Orchestra along with Principal Thomas Morrill and instructor James Higlet. These wonderful students entertained us prior to the start of our board meeting. At this time, we would like to invite the students up to introduce themselves.
Hi, my name is Nicholas Gardner. I play violin, and I'm a senior.
My name is Jeffrey Eisen. I'm a senior, and I also play the violin.
Hi, my name is Jaslyn Puyere. I'm a junior, and I play the violin.
Hi, my name is Nate Hiquez. I'm a junior, and I also play the violin.
Hi, my name is Ella Chafin. I'm a junior, and I play the violin.
My name is Stephanie Lassa. I'm a senior, and I play the violin.
Hi, my name is Evie Thielman. I'm a sophomore, and I play violin.
Hi, my name is Skylar Dittman. I'm a senior and I play the violin.
Hi, my name is Gabriella Freeman. I'm a senior and I play the violin.
Hi, my name is Selena Brito. I'm a senior and I play the violin.
My name is Hannah Gay. I'm a senior and I play the violin.
Hi, my name is Jessica Placeres. I'm a junior and I play the violin.
Hi, my name is Amanda Custon. I'm a junior and I play the viola.
Hi, my name is Sarah Fredericks. I'm a junior and I play the viola.
Hi, my name is Juliana Smith. I'm a sophomore and I play the viola.
Hi, my name is Aubrey Riggs. I'm a senior and I play the cello.
Hi, my name is Willis Britton. I'm a senior and I play the cello.
Hi, my name is Sean Yates. I'm a senior and I play the viola.
Hi, my name is Todd Eisen. I play the bass and I'm a senior.
Hi, my name is Lorenzo. I'm a senior and I play the bass.
Hi, my name is Benjamin Sims. I'm a senior and I play the cello.
Hi, my name is Mackenzie Bader. I'm a sophomore and I play cello.
Hi, my name is Anastasia Webb. I'm a junior and I play the cello.
Hi, my name is Ava Eaton. I'm a sophomore and I play the bass.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jacob Hegland. I am the director of orchestras at Gaither High School.
That's amazing. Thank you, great.
Mr. Morrill, come up and introduce yourself.
I was trying to stay incognito because my boss says I talk too much.
Parents, feel free to come up and take pictures. I'm trying. It's all right, it's all right. I'm good. Woo! Fantastic! Great job. Great job. Great job. Go Cowboys.
That's right. What's Cowboy? Is Cowboy. Hi, you guys. Have a great holiday. It was great. Beautiful. Great. Thank you. That was amazing. That was really beautiful. Thank you.
We have no withdrawn items today. I do need a motion and a second to adopt the agenda. I have a motion by Member Gray and a second by Member Perez. Any discussion? Seeing no discussion, please vote when your lights appear. And the motion passes unanimously with Dr. Hahn and Member Washington not being present for the meeting. Now I'm going to do the roll call. Let the roll call reflect that all board members are present with the exception of Dr. Hahn and Member Washington. Approval of the minutes. We have 4 sets of minutes to be approved today. October 29th, 2024, School Board Workshop. November 12th, 2024, School Board Workshop. December 3rd, 2024, School Board Meeting. And December 10th, 2024, School Board Recognition Meeting. I need a motion and a second to approve the minutes. I have a motion by Member Perez and a second by Member Combs. Any discussion? Seeing no discussion, please vote when your lights appear. And the motion passes unanimously with the board members who are present. Board members, I'd like to go over the format of today's meeting. As a reminder, we are a nonpartisan board who believes all children are empowered to learn and to succeed, and our decisions will be made with that understanding. To pave the way for efficient and effective agenda statements or questions, board members will have 5 minutes to speak with 30 seconds for final thoughts. Oh, I think this is this the right one? Afterwards, the superintendent can respond. If you have further questions, you're asked to get back in the queue. Member Perez will now read the board guidelines.
As we begin in this afternoon's meeting, please allow me to quickly review the format of our school board meetings. Please silence all electronic devices. There are speakers in the room behind me that allow board members to hear the meeting upon stepping away from the dais. This meeting can be viewed with closed captioning on the live webcast. cable TV, and on the video monitors here in the auditorium. It can also be viewed with closed captioning online video archive.
Thank you. We have one item scheduled for time certain at 6 p.m. We have an employee input. Public comment. The board welcomes comments from citizens and values your input to the board. In order to provide the most comprehensive response to your comments, our staff will follow up with you and keep our board members informed about responses. Our school board respects the public's right to speak to the board, and we appreciate you taking your time to be here. However, it is requested that when you address the board, comments are not directed personally against any board member or staff member, but rather directed at the issues. Any behavior intended to interrupt the orderly conduct of this meeting will not be allowed. Our civility policy is in place. When addressing the board, please state your name and speak clearly into the microphone. This afternoon, each speaker will have 3 minutes. Reminder that your 3 minutes start when you begin speaking. When there are 30 seconds left, you'll see a yellow light on the lectern. A red light will chime and it will indicate when your time is up. I will now ask the first 5 speakers to line up. Thank you. You may begin.
Mike Plore. I'm here for the last time on this issue. Here's the data from this policy that requires up to 20% test scores passing before they can take a certification exam. 57% of our Caucasian white students are allowed to get a voucher. 18% of our black students are allowed to get a voucher. And 12% of our Hispanic students are allowed to get a voucher to even attempt the test. 88% can't even try. But by lying, cheating, and even stealing, we tested these students anyway. What are those results? 67% of our Hispanic students passed the exam, even though 12% were allowed to try. That's 5 times more than what we even permitted to attempt. Our African American students, 62% of those students passed, 3 times more than were permitted to even attempt the test by this local policy. We've stopped testing because we feel that testing only the white students would be illegal, and denying accommodations to students with IEPs and ELLs is equally as egregious. The CAPE Act legislation was passed to provide opportunities to close the achievement gap and enhance an economic opportunity. This local policy has no benefit other than being a de facto discriminatory policy. They'll use excuses like the hurricane. Nope, I was here 3 times before a hurricane was sounding the alarm. And then they'll say financial burden. CTE leadership claims that the financial burden to the district prompted them to purposely exclude students from testing. State funding, not local funding, provides additional FTE funding for each student that passes the certification exam through the CAPE Act. In real dollars, that's up to $1,000 for each student that passes. The exams cost $30 a piece. How many students have to pass in a class of 30 to break even? 1, and sometimes 2. Test them all. Test everybody equally. None of the testing funds are from Hillsborough County taxpayers. It's all funded through the CAPE Act. This process has already cost the district millions of dollars and has no actual positive attributes for students, for teachers, for schools, or the district. This school board was elected by the people to backstop problems like this, possible illegal programs, from getting through. This should not be your legacy. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Mark Lutho Largo, your civility nonsense is null and void. Here is the 44-page ruling from the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals. Thanks to Moms for Stupidity, you know. broken clock is right twice a day. No one likes to be called evil, but it is not abusive to use that term. Restrictions that bar offensive or otherwise unwelcome speech are impermissible, regardless of the form in which the government seeks to impose them. Your copy.
Thank you.
There's a lot more for you to learn there. Again, it's null and void. That means you can't say, I can't mention any names or say what I will about any individual from the 11th Circuit. More hurricanes are slamming the Gulf Coast. Is this the new normal? Here's the headline. Science can't keep up with the warming planet. See the graphs? Hurricane Milton is terrifying. And is it just the start? Well, see, the problem is, for maybe over 3 decades, I've been coming here with the science of high-performance passive solar building that would help solve the problem. And the schools just keeps ignoring the science that would help solve the problem. You would stop belching the carbon that fuels these big storms. So this problem is going to keep on getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And, you know, those people that were in here and they wanted to, you know, oh, we want to name that school down there that's going to get submerged down there in
Thank you. Next
the
speaker.
lowlands.
Thank you.
Not going to be pretty.
Good evening, Madam Chair, school board members, and Superintendent Ayers. I am Brittany Wegman, Executive Director for the Hillsborough Classroom Teachers Association, and I'm here to speak in full support for the approval of all negotiated millage referendum implementation memorandums of understanding for all employee groups. These agreements fulfill the promise made to employees and the voters of Hillsborough County who approved the millage referendum with 67% support. They have been properly negotiated, signed by both parties, and ratified by an overwhelming majority, 97% of education support professionals and 99% of instructional staff. These percentages reflect just how critical this funding is to the people who keep our schools running and serve our students every day. By intending to pay these FRS eligible salary supplements at the start of the contract year, you have sent a powerful message that this board values its workforce. This practice has already boosted employee morale and created much needed stability. Last 23-24 school year, where negotiations were settled ahead of the holidays, the district still struggled with significant staffing challenges. By December 12th of last school year, HCPS experienced a net loss of 454 instructional positions. This 24-25 school year, after settling negotiations ahead of the start of the year, we are seeing net gains as of today's personnel consent agenda. Just halfway through the school year, the instructional personnel have a net gain of 111 positions, and ESPs have achieved a net gain of 273. HCTA believes we are seeing these real results from settling employee pay and contract negotiations ahead of the start of the employee work year, and that these agreements matter. By addressing wages and ensuring timely, predictable compensation, this board has taken a meaningful step towards stabilizing our workforce. We must continue this progress so that employees can budget, have incentive to work here, and feel valued by their employer. HCTA also recognizes the vital role of instructional leadership. Strong, experienced administrators at every work site and across the district are essential to supporting our teachers, support professionals, and students. And that's why we fully support administrators receiving these supplements, reinforcing stability across our schools. Ultimately, these MOUs, like all negotiated agreements, are legally binding and guarantee these funds go directly into the hands of our hardworking and dedicated employees. It's also important to note that this is not a stopping point. We must do better for our employees by continuing to improve base pay using all available funds. Approving these MOUs is just one part of building a competitive, sustainable compensation plan that attracts and retains quality educators and support staff. In closing, approving these agreements tonight means building on the progress we are seeing this year. Together, we can ensure Hillsborough County Schools remain a place where employees feel valued and our students thrive. Thank you.
Thank you. Can we have speakers 6 through 12 please line up? Next speaker, please.
I'm Rachel Doyle. I'm a parent of 2 ESC kids in your schools. I saw the meeting December 3rd and I was disappointed. Firstly, I requested an FBA in March. It's December. It's still not done. Then I watched your last meeting where I hear one of you say, we do not have any system where parents can choose if their children can check out certain books or not. Who are you talking to when you say such a thing? Because it's not me or any parent who makes sure that their kid's education is individualized. We need to give parents an opportunity to do that for their children. The opportunity is there. It's even easier than my kids' IEP meetings. My kids can't even take a cough drop I send them in with at school unless I sign a waiver. The same exact system exists for the cafeteria if I want my kid to avoid dairy for eczema. So are you taking this approach about the cafeteria with a new system, or why the double standard about books yet again? You guys send me opt-in and opt-out forms for everything, including the supplemental reading list. Your names are on the opt-out forms. You know that there is every tool at my disposal for making my kids' individualized education, individualizing our kids' meds, cafeteria food, and yes, books are my responsibility to be proactive about. That is the job we take on when we choose to be parents. I don't want your help with that. Don't recommend another system in place to be in place that is not actually for me. This is pandering to people who want to control my kids' education, and we both know it. I am not co-parenting with them. Creating a system that wasn't supported by even one parent who was at the county commissioners meeting when this was done to our public school libraries, this isn't for parents, and it also has not been proven to have any benefits for our kids in the last 18 months. You were talking about not spending money on programs where you saw no benefits. This is one of those cases. How much money are we wasting on book challenges and new system? Meanwhile, myself and other ESC parents never get such a meeting about systems to support our parental rights in education. If you're going to take this approach that parent communication matters to you, then don't only say it when it comes to books. I don't trust you. I've seen your voting record and your comments on challenge books. I've seen you capitulate to the non-public schools parent here, consistently trying to get her will enacted on my kids. Meanwhile, neither of you offer any assistance for tangible problems faced by parents like ESC and busing. If you care about places where parents are not being given opportunities to be involved in our child's learning, invest your time in ESC. Don't pretend that your goal is parental access and rights when you only bring that up in the context of books, where we already have every opportunity to opt out by doing some basic parenting. An email is not too much for HCPS parents. Don't patronize me. If you want to set up a new Canva-like system to tackle an actual problem, then set one up for us ESC parents so that your summer programming isn't letting my kid fall through the cracks with zero update from my kid's teacher, and so parents don't have to wait 9 months for updates on an FBA plan because somehow all the data got lost over summer. My kids' specialists at USF are appalled by this setup and told me to contact an advocate. Give us a new system. I quite literally beg you. Because for all my effort, including emails to you, I've been given no resources by anyone to fix this issue. The way I have resources to easily opt out of books. Put your money where your mouth is. Give special needs students and their parents better communication. Stop wasting my time pretending there are issues with books. And thank you for approving the book money, but let us know when special needs parents are going to get our special call meeting so that we can get our fancy new system. Thanks.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Afternoon. Thanks for letting us speak. My name is Paul Raub. I'm a volunteer with Defense of Democracy, and I'm came over from the other side of the state, from Brevard County. Parent over there. Brevard, the little county that could, but would rather not and doesn't want you to either. We are the birthplace of Moms for Liberty. Sorry. And our school board at this point is, if I'm being generous, 60% brainworm. And we're kind of the ghost of Christmas yet to come, which is amusing, except that our kids and the teachers bear the brunt and suffer the consequences. And having watched some of the discussion about the book banning attempts and successes here over the past few months, I'm going to urge you, beg you, please, to remember, historically, ignorance has at no point in history made anything better for anyone. Book banning has never historically turned out to be a net win for any society. All the data in the world tells us that more input, more viewpoints, a wider diversity of viewpoints is better and expands people's minds and opens opportunities. No data, apart from some conjured straw men, says that a book has suddenly left off the shelves and ruined somebody's life. And when we lean towards some very vague standard like age appropriate and say the law is clear when it is wildly open to interpretation, and then use that and stretch it in whichever way we can to take something off the shelves because, well, nobody got fired for not subjecting a kid to a book. If some non-parent, someone who doesn't have a student in your school system came in and said, I'm a vegan and I think we need to take these burgers away from these other kids, I don't think you would take them very seriously. I don't know that you would spend millions forming committees to study them and tell the school's dietitians, nutritionists, the people that run the cafeteria who actually know what they're talking about to pound sand, we're going to take this food away from these kids because that lady thinks her imaginary kid wouldn't like to eat it. Books, like a burger, don't jump off the shelves. They don't force anyone to read them. In these times of declining literacy of, as has been repeatedly mentioned, Florida being 47th in the nation educationally, by some metrics 50, which we can do better if Puerto Rico becomes a state. I guess we could hit 51. A kid who's reading, a kid who is seeking out books, a kid who is finding new things to read is a victory that we should celebrate and encourage and applaud and make that easier for them, empower them to, what was I heard earlier, to learn and succeed. That's leadership. Empower your students, empower your staff, empower your educated, trained, knowledgeable, with expertise media specialists. Otherwise, why are you anywhere near education if you don't think it's valuable? If we somehow think that the board is immune to bias, as elected officials famously are, when the media specialists are somehow biased, I'd love to see an explanation for that. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Hi, my name is Amy Raub. I'm the new volunteer state director for Defense of Democracy. We're a nonpartisan national organization that is just here to protect public schools. I'm new to this position, but this ain't my first rodeo. That was my husband. I'm also from Brevard. We've been fighting those fascist mom groups over there for over 2 years, and it's insane. Moms for Liberty was formed in Brevard, and they've been super successful in stacking our school board now. We're completely stacked with Moms for Liberty puppets. And if you're not watching our school board meetings, you might want to. So that you can realize what a slippery slope this is. Oh, you had a process? You have a process? So did we, okay? My husband was appointed to the book review committee. And we watched as they removed the media specialist after the first few meetings. Too many books were being kept. So the media specialists and the librarians were removed. They were allowed to be at the meeting but not have a vote. Then they were removed because it became a conflict of interest as they appointed a Moms for Liberty member who was now reviewing her own challenges. We watched them rezone our sole non-book banner board member right out of her own district. And now it's in a small room, small back room with no attendees. They took public comment, and then they took the actual votes from the book review committee. So now it's just down to so that was bad enough, but when they reviewed Nowhere Girls, the entire committee voted unanimously for the first time ever, because there are some book banners on that committee, to keep. And our board decided to go ahead and ban that. Their bare bones, handpicked Moms for Liberty stacked committee, they're still not listening to them. Now, so I've heard you guys have only banned one so far. This book is gay. Your committee also voted to keep that one. And then I know there were some people that didn't listen. You've only got one. Don't Don't give in. Stop now. Don't give in to those toddlers having tantrums back here. You're on the Board of Education. Listen to the educated. Not some crazy racist, fascist women that don't understand how books work or anything else, really.
Thank you.
So, all right, thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good afternoon, board members. I'm Ellen Lyons, and I'm a PTA lady, which is how you know me. But during the campaign for the referendum for millage, I also served as the president of Hillsborough Students Deserve Better, which is a PAC that supported the millage. I want to thank every single voter in Hillsborough County who voted to support the referendum for millage. Thank you for supporting education. Thank you to the volunteers who waved signs at polling places, to the people who put signs in their yard, and to the people who reposted our social media posts, and to the many small dollar donors, including many teachers, who made our grassroots campaign possible. I also want to thank the Tampa Bay Times, La Gazzetta, community partners, including Hillsborough Education Foundation, Families for Strong Public Schools, Alliance for Public Schools, and so many others, as well as the many chambers of commerce that supported the referendum for millage. Now, you as a school board also deserve credit for this win. As a board, you have made tough financial decisions. You've consolidated operations. You've cut and shaved expenses from the budget. You've taken action to increase the bond rating of the district, which directly impacts the cost of credit for this district, and it saves us a lot of money. You have ensured that the district continues to have clean, independent, and state audit reports. And you've implemented a change in position control so that every position that is hired for the district has a place in the budget. These are tremendous changes, and they have resulted in real value that can be seen on the balance sheet and in the district's transparency. So that's due to you, so thank you very much. There's also big differences about how the district provided millage information this time as opposed to 2022. This time, the district put forth a very clear and simple plan. They never varied from that plan, and it was very clear how the money was going to be spent. Making the promise to pay teachers and staff set clear amounts in advance really helped. And then the other thing is that our superintendent made two very good decisions. The first decision was made far in advance of the referendum for millage, but it was the decision to negotiate and make a deal with the teachers and staff early before the school year began. That was a critical thing in creating trust and belief that the district would do what it says. The other thing that the superintendent did was go out in the community and leverage the reputation that he enjoys and the trust that he had. The trust in this election cycle cannot be overstated, and it was really important. In fact, having the community trust, I think, is what pushed us over the campaign finish line.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next speaker, please. Good evening, members of the school board. My name is Amy Marie Granger Welch, and I'm here tonight as a proud supporter of public education and as someone who worked tirelessly alongside this community to ensure the success of the millage referendum. That referendum passed with overwhelming support from 67% of our voters, our friends, our neighbors, and fellow residents who entrusted you to invest in our schools, our teachers, and our students. Tonight, I urge you to approve the Memorandum of Understanding with the Hillsborough Classroom Teachers Association and the Hillsborough School Employees Federation. This MOU represents a promise fulfilled, a promise to allocate these funds in a way that reflects the will of the voters and meets the urgent needs of our schools. We know that teacher retention and recruitment are critical challenges facing our district. Competitive salaries are not just a reward for the dedicated professionals shaping the future of our children. They are a necessity to keep our high-quality educators in our classrooms. The referendum funds allocated through this MOU will make Hillsborough County a district where educators feel valued, supported, and inspired to stay.
Let us not forget that 67% of voters placed their trust in you to get this right. They believed in this district's ability to honor their support and use these funds responsibly. By approving this MOU, you are keeping that trust intact and demonstrating commitment to transparency, accountability, and progress. The stakes are high, and the opportunity before us is significant. This agreement is about strengthening schools and investing in the future of Hillsborough County. Please vote to approve of the MOU, and let's move forward united as a community that values its children, its educators, and its future. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good afternoon. My name is Julie Gebhards. At the last board meeting, there was discussion about how great the book challenge process here is here in HCPS. It was even stated that others outside of our district have also called in to talk about how great it is. But what our book challenge process has produced, or I should probably say exposed, I guess we'll start here with Pierce Middle School, and This Book is Gay. It was a review committee with 7 people at Pierce Middle School decided that this book was worth keeping, and they all voted unanimously to keep it on middle school shelves. Page 173, Blowies. Oral sex is popping another dude's peen in your mouth, or indeed popping yours in his. There's only one hard and fast rule when it comes to blowjobs. Watch the teeth. Lips and tongue, yes. Teeth, no. Tell me, this isn't porn. Tell me the educational benefit this gives to middle schoolers. Also, in addition to learning about how to perform oral sex acts on each other, it also gives instructions for how to use a sex hookup app. 5-step instructions, including the benefits. Page 184 says the benefits are quick, easy, and uncomplicated sex for middle schoolers, I remind you. According to this process that has been touted here in Hillsborough County, the Pierce librarian who told me she chose the book for her students also chose the people who were on the review committee for her school that approved this book. So tell me about the integrity of that process. Where is the unbiased group of people that are going to review these books? And then again, this book, because of a vigilant parent, was pressed all the way to a district level committee meeting where those 9 committee members, officials from our district, also voted to keep this book. Now, this is all part of that book challenge process that we have on our district website. Again, a little sample, page 179, that clitoris really does like being licked and kissed. Girls can take it in turns to perform oral sex, or if feeling adventurous, they can perform it at the same time. How do you justify having this in a middle school? How does it even take a single committee to determine that this does not belong in a middle school or any school in Hillsborough County? And yes, this book was eventually by the board removed from the middle school, but where is the common sense? Why do we have this long process to determine that a book like this and many others like it that contain similar content, why do we even have to have a process? We need to have common sense. This book still remains at Armwood, Brandon, and Tampa Bay Tech High School. Shocking.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good evening. My name is Major Ulysses Sosa, and I'm here to represent the United States Marine Corps. Mr. Superintendent, esteemed school board members, thank you for having me here this evening. I represent Marine Corps recruiting for all of the state of Central Florida. And tonight, I'm here to personally invite each of you and your high school administrators to the Educators Workshop on Parris Island, South Carolina, from February 25th to 28th. The Educators Workshop is an all expenses paid professional development experience for teachers, counselors, and school leaders. It offers a unique behind-the-scenes look at how the Marine Corps fosters leadership, builds teams, and cultivates invaluable skills that educators can bring back to the classroom to empower their students with. There's 3 main things I'd like to highlight for the Educators Workshop. 1, enhance leadership skills. Through different interactive sessions, the Marine Corps is going to show its participants different strategies for inspiring and motivating others that they can bring back to the classroom. 2, practical team building techniques. There will be various hands-on different exercises highlighting the importance of collaboration and communication. All techniques that are very impactful to not just the military, but adaptable educational settings. And then number 3, personal growth and networking. There will be educators from all over the state of Florida, to include Puerto Rico, at the Educators Workshop from the 25th to the 28th. So it's a great time for everyone to get together and shared different struggles and different opportunities and different things that are working well for them inside of the classroom. What I ask of you guys today is to just simply share this information with the high schools within Hillsborough County. Any educator that attends, again, it's all expenses paid, travel, lodging, food, throughout the entire 4 days, and they'll receive 12 professional developmental hours that can go towards their certifications and professional growth that they're working on. Lastly, I warmly invite each of you guys to also attend. It is a tremendous opportunity. It ends Friday morning with a graduation there at Parris Island, and it's something that's truly, I wish everybody here could see. I've been in the Marine Corps for 13 years, and every opportunity I've had to get out, I haven't been able to, because if there's one thing the Marine Corps has taught me is no matter how different we all are, there's a lot more that brings us together, and we have a lot more similar than we do that divides us. So thank you guys all for your time this evening. Thank you for your service to the community. Your service does not go for granted. Your leadership does not go for granted. And just watching today, I know there's a lot of wicked problems that you guys are wrestling with. So best of luck, and thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for the opportunity to speak before you today. My name is Damaris Allen. I'm a parent, a graduate, a parent of 2 graduates, and the executive director of Families for Strong Public Schools. I want to thank you in advance for approving the MOUs that were done ahead of time, for the work that was done on the millage. This is so important. But I really want to highlight the fact that before we even met after this millage, 25 districts had already gone after millages, representing over almost 63% of students in the state of Florida. What that makes abundantly clear to me is every district knows we are underfunding our schools. And so while I hear there is talk that there is money somewhere, there is, and it's in Tallahassee. And that is and we're about to go into interim committee weeks and session. And so I hope in every single conversation you have with our delegation, you are saying, we need more funds for students. And we know we have it. There was a $13.5 billion surplus last session. I can't think of any place better to invest it than in our students and in our future. Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes public comment. We'll now move on to the consent agenda. I need a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. I have a motion by Member Gray and a second by Member Perez. Please vote when your lights appear. And the motion passes with the members who are present. I will now call on Superintendent Ayers to highlight our administrative appointees.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Board members, we did have one principal appointment on the consent agenda, and I'm proud to announce Dr. Jennifer Kennedy, the new principal of Jefferson High School. Jennifer, you could stand, please. And Jennifer, if you want to make your way down the center there. So just a little bit about Dr. Kennedy. She served ACPS for 17 years, beginning in 2007 as an ELA teacher and magnet lead at Sly, and later transitioned to a reading coach at Roland Park and Jefferson. In 2015, she was appointed as assistant principal for student affairs at Spoto High, and in 2020, she was named assistant principal for curriculum at Riverview High, where she continued to serve till today. Dr. Jennifer Kennedy, the new principal of Jefferson High School. Congratulations. I also want to recognize any family and friends that are with her. Family, friends, stand up, that are with her. Got a lot of people with you supporting you, Jennifer.
Y'all are doing it, I'll do
That's right. How quickly we forget. And as some of you may not know, she is also our current Assistant Principal of the Year as AP for Curriculum Review. So our AP of the Year, now Principal of Jefferson. So congratulations, Jennifer. Now go and celebrate.
Congratulations, Dr. Kennedy. We will now pause for a moment for those who would like to exit the boardroom. Okay, the following items will now be heard. C503, C402, C502, and C1201. For 503, mascot for Aquila J. Morgan High School, Dr. Rick Graves, Chief of Schools, will highlight this item.
Thank you, Chair Vaughn. Just want to briefly outline the process for choosing the mascot. There were 3 student and parent meetings held, one at Leonard on November 12th and 2 at Sumner on November 13th and 19th. Middle school students could have attended any of those meetings. Stakeholders were invited to use the QR code provided and vote for one of 5 mascots: Moccasins, Marauders, Mariners, Mustangs, and Grizzlies. Multiple mascot renderings from multiple vendors were considered, and the Herff Jones version was ultimately chosen. The voting period lasted 20 days, and 201 responses were collected. Now I would like to invite Brittany Wilhelm, principal of Morgan High School, to share additional information.
Good evening, distinguished members of the board, Superintendent Ayers, and our community members. First, I wanted to thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. I am so honored to stand before you as the proud first principal of Aquila J. Morgan High School. This is a new, I brought some friends. This is a new chapter for Waimama. So this school opening up in 2025 is really going to be a pillar for the community. So I wanted to, before we vote on this, have the members of the Aquila J. Morgan family stand up. I just wanted to take a moment to acknowledge the family for their support to the Morgan High School Mustangs. Their support here really means so much to not only this school, but it reminds us of a legacy and the values that we're working to honor in this new school building. So in establishing a strong identity for Morgan High School, we really wanted a mascot that would resonate deeply with our students, our family, and our community members. The results are overwhelmingly in favor of the Mustangs. The Mustangs represent strength, unity, and determination, qualities that we hope reflect the spirit that we want to instill in our students and our school. To bring this version to life, we did use some vendors to help us create a mascot logo. This logo will set us apart from all the other high schools and ensure a clean and professional look that can be used across a variety of platforms, uniforms, banners, and any school spirit gear. I'm incredibly excited about the momentum for this project and the pride that it's going to bring for the Waimama community. And I respectfully ask for your approval to move forward with the Mustangs for Aquila J. Morgan High School.
Thank you. Board members, I need a motion and a second to approve C503. I have a motion by Member Combs and a second by Member Gray. Any discussion? Member Rundon?
I cannot thank both the family and Ms. Wilhelm for all the effort that you guys have put into getting this going. I mean, it is coming faster than we think, and we're super excited. That build is just, you drive by and look over the lake and just see it. You see the building, and it's just a wonderful thing. And I'm so thankful that the hurricane did not delay us anymore. And that was just a wonderful thing to recognize the fact that it was safe and secure out in Waimama and where we built it and what we've done in the work. So thank you all so much. I'm excited about the mascot. I love the fact that the colors are totally unique to the area, and nobody around the east side has anything like this. So it's super cool. So thank you so much for all your effort and making sure that we did it and as quickly as we did. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Member Rendon. I pulled this item just to celebrate the excitement. I know how engaged the family's been throughout this process. I looked at the list of names, and I'm so glad Mustangs won. So I just want to say, go Mustangs! We're thrilled, we're excited, and congratulations. Board members, please vote when your lights appear. Member Gray. And the motion passes unanimously with the board members present. Congratulations.
Do a picture with the shirt?
Want to do it afterwards or you want to do it now? No. All right, next we move on to 402, negotiated millage referendum with the MOUs and plan for all employees group. Superintendent Ayers will highlight this item.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Board members, it brings great excitement to bring this MOU before you today as my recommendation to you. It's been a long road to get to this point. This is an exciting day for us, and this MOU just outlines our promise that we've made over the last year of what these funds would be used for. So Hillsborough County Public Schools has reached a tentative agreement with employees represented by the Hillsborough Classroom Teachers Association, ACTA, and the Hillsborough School Employees Federation, HSEF, covering the implementation of the revenue to be earned as a result of the successful passage of a millage referendum approved by 67% of voters on the 2024 general election ballot. The agreement results in 92% of revenue being utilized for employee compensation in the form of supplemental pay to all full-time active employees and 8% of revenue being utilized for educational programs. The millage will be effective for the 25-26 school year and continue through June 30th, 2029. Let me say that one more time. This millage will be effective for the 25-26 school year and goes for 4 years, if we stated, through June 30th of 2029. But with this MOU, this goes into place for the 25-26 school year. So as we look to the number one purpose of this millage was recruitment and retention of high quality teachers to Hillsborough County. This gives us that opportunity as we advertise and we go out to look for teachers to bring to Hillsborough County. This MOU basically outlines that it begins next school year. So it's a very exciting day today. And board members, just thank you for all your support throughout this entire process. And that is item 402.
Thank you. I need a motion and a second to approve item C402. I have a motion by Member Combs and a second by Member Gray. Member Combs and I pulled this agenda item. Member Combs, do you have any comments?
Yes, I do. Sorry about my voice. First and foremost, I really want to thank the voters of Hillsborough County. You know, after going through hurricanes, and we're all of us, many of us are still recovering, 2 out of 3 voters said the students are truly the focus. They are the most important part of our society. They are the most important part of Hillsborough County. And to see that the voters go out there, I can't thank them or show enough appreciation. You know, I was amazed, even in Pinellas County, you know, they went for a full mill and 78% of their voters supported that. That tells you that people really, really know the importance of education. The MOU guarantees that the money will go directly to the employees. And I really want to discuss 2 false narratives that come out. First is that the money is not going to the employees. The money is going to go to the employees. We've talked about it over. It will be $6,000 for the instructional staff after we go through bargaining, and then $3,000 for non-instructional. Some additional money will go for early learning and field trips and nature's classrooms, things that we are not able to receive state funding from, you know, and so it's really important that people know that the money is going to our employees. Secondly, that we have enough money in our budget. Okay, we're funded 50th. Tell me where we are going to collect $180 million. We have closed schools. We have sacrificed so much. We are at the district level at the bare minimum. And on top of that, we have to have programs to run a district. We have to have programs that are going to support things like 7 Mindsets, things that support children. We have to do better. And so I will continue to fight on every level, at the state level, that we need to fund public education. Finally, to see that that the MOU was passed 98% by non-instructional and 97% by instructional staff, that says a lot. And finally, Superintendent, I really would like to make sure that we can go into bargaining and make sure that in August, when our teachers start, whatever we need to do, whatever sacrifices we need to make, that goes into implementation right away, so that way we can use that to hire and retain teachers. I think about this all the time, walking into Tampa Bay Boulevard and seeing 108 kindergarten students and only one certified teacher. We have to do better. That in that area, it's an early learning desert, and then kids go into kindergarten without a certified teacher. Kids need bus drivers. We need support staff, our security that works so hard here. We have so many people, our bus drivers, every group, our paraprofessionals who are truly underpaid. The other day, someone said to me, it's not just teachers that are underpaid, it's every single person working for the district. And I truly believe that. And I want to thank this board for supporting that and the importance, because the only reason I'm here is because of students, and the only reason I'm here is to make sure that people have a livable wage and that we make sure that education is the most important thing. I think the hurricane taught you can lose your house, you can lose your car, but having a skill and an education is the most important thing. And this is why so many people want to live in this country. And this is why we have to continue to prioritize education, and being 50 is just not good enough.
Thank you, Member Combs. Member Rendon.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And Member Combs has a lot of extremely good points, and she's very valid in all of her points, and she's correct. Couple things I want to make sure that we bring to the public knowledge, just because this is the beginning of the process, right? We're collecting the taxes. It's the beginning of the process. And so because of that, it's a little different this year than years as we move forward, because of the fact that the money that we will collect will not start coming into this district till November or December. And so as we move forward, we have to prioritize bargaining. I'm 100% behind Member Combs and 100% agreement that that needs to be a priority. That has to be done. No matter what happens here, that has to be done, because this is in addition to our negotiations with our teachers. We need to make that very clear that this is a negotiation to our teachers. So we need to make sure that as we move forward in the beginning of our budgeting process through as a district, that we look at our teacher salaries first before any other determination of any other department. And that's going to come to you, Superintendent, to make sure that happens. We come and it comes to us as part of the process, but you bring it to us, and we need to make sure. And because this is a unique year where this process starts, as far as the process of the referendum begins, and we don't receive that money yet, I want to make sure that everyone knows that if payments do not start in the beginning of the year, this is part of the MOU, that payments in the contractual year will be retroactive to July the 1st. And that's because it's a unique year. No matter what, every single employee will be guaranteed the money according to the MOU. But because we do not receive the money till November, December, as we go through budgeting, they need to understand that they will get the money no matter what. I think that's important to understand this year. As we move forward, we're already going to be in the process of collecting the taxes. It should not affect any other year. So because it's contradictory on two different lines, and I want to make sure that we clarify that to make sure every employee knows that no matter what, during next school year, it will be retroactive if it doesn't occur at the beginning of the school year. But you will be guaranteed that money throughout the school year no matter what. So I think that's important that we recognize that part of the MOU, because we want to make sure there are two things that happen. One, negotiations are separate from this. We still need to make sure teachers are paid adequately, and we monitor that as part of our ongoing budget. And second of all, that teachers recognize that this could be a little bit different of a year. Not that they're not going to get the full amount. It's the timing of the first year because of when we collect the money, just because we have to get the collected money. The second thing I want to ask the question to Superintendent is, I had some of my employees that received in communication from Spectrum Bay News 9 this morning that only union employees were going to get this referendum money. Can we clarify that, please?
Just heard about that about 30 minutes ago. Danielle, can you? I know you brought it to your attention. If you want to address that, because I just heard about that miscommunication had gone out just earlier. I think it was this morning. Went out to some. So if you could address 6 more.
It was like 6:30 this morning. It went out. I just want to make sure we clarify that with all of our employees.
I don't have all the details of it, but do we?
I can speak to that. A staff member in one of our schools, who I happen to live with, my husband, reached out and said, there's a little bit of conversation at our site because this is what the Bay News 9 article says. And I, confirmed with him that was completely inaccurate. That is not how collective bargaining works. And the union negotiates on behalf of all members, whether you are a member of the union or not. So I believe Ms. Arja was able to reach out to Bay News 9, who was able to correct that information.
And that goes again for the referendum money. It was also for all employees, correct?
It is. The referendum money, it is all instructional, all full-time instructional employees, whether you are a member of the union or not.
I just want to make sure we clarify that to the public because a lot of teachers got that, and I want to make sure we're clear on that.
Absolutely.
The other thing I want to make sure that we understand as a public is, as we move forward in negotiations and we move forward with this, although we have a fund balance, as we transition and looking at other ways in which we can reduce some of our outgoing costs, that being insurance, and we look towards self-insurance as a possibility of being able to put more money into general revenue dollars to be able to long-term support teachers better, support our staff better, we have to keep money in that fund balance in order to make that transition. It's legally that we have to have money in that fund balance. So I want to make sure everyone understands that we have to look at things globally as a whole, but no matter how we move towards the budgeting process, this referendum is secure based upon tax dollar money coming in and that our teachers are guaranteed that. But this first year process could look a little different, but they will get the money no matter what. Timing is part of this issue. I just want to make sure that we clarify that because I think it's important that everyone understands not everyone's going to read the memorandum of agreement, and I want to make sure we're clear on that. So thank you. And again, thank you to all of our staff and all of our teachers as we move forward. Their work is invaluable to anything we do.
Thank you, Member Rendon. Member Gray?
Well, we certainly didn't talk the talk. We actually walked the walk. Thank you, board members, for supporting. And Superintendent, there was a sacrifice that many of us made a commitment, inclusive of the taxpayers. But I want to thank the Hillsborough County CTA, the Hillsborough County PTA, our communications team, our taxpayers, board members, Superintendent Van Ayers, the courage and the comprehensive outreach that every one of you did made for success, and so many other entities that I did not share. What I think, too, is we have the will of the people. When you have 2 out of 3 voters vote for public education, for our teachers, for our schools, that sends a message that we are definitely in the right space. The time, maybe it's a little bit late, so the other counties already had a millage success, but nonetheless, we got it done. And thank you, Ms. Shotwell, and all the negotiating team. I know that took so much of a commitment. Now, we also recognize that 99%, and I don't know who the 1% is, 99% of our current employees also supported this millage. And, one of the things that was brought out tonight, yes, this millage will help with recruitment. And right now, so I had this piece of paper here, as I see, as of December 17th, we had a net gain of 111. And that speaks volumes, especially when we looked at last year at this time. We had a net loss of 454. Well, we got a long ways to go, but this is going to help incredibly. And I know, Dr. Whalen, you always speak about recruitment, but you also speak about retention, keeping these teachers. And that's a big darn deal. We did the best we could, and we did it, and we were successful. And you all were. But now we have to retain, and I think this has a lot of value in that within that latitude of thought. Also, and I guess I should get number 1, number 2, number 3, and the third, I wanted to say, Rob Crete, CTA director, you speak always in support of the extra support personnel. How many times have we overlooked them, and how many times do we not give the grandiose statements? We say a lot for our teachers, and I'm a former teacher, and I know all that. You all know. But the extra support personnel is finally getting a 3%. They're getting the money that they so well deserve, and of course the teachers 6%. But at any rate, this is a great step forward. And I want to say, and to Member Rendon's comments, when we talk about accountability and oversight, we have to remember, just visualize, well, maybe some of you can because you haven't been to our oversight committee meetings. We have an oversight committee that is in charge of our referendum monies. They don't miss a beat. The transparency, the expertise that they have for every project that Mr. Farkas finds himself in the middle of, they make sure the money is very well spent. And Superintendent Van Ayers, if you were to shake your head, we are having a very similar, how do you want to say, visual oversight committee. So we're going to have that same look, and that's for our taxpayers, rightfully so. They need to see exactly where the money goes. I also want to say that one more thing I wanted to say. Well, at any rate, the teachers, here we go. Yeah, so when Member Combs mentioned in a little bit of Member Rendon's remarks, we want that negotiating team to have the ability to not say yes by the end of the year, we have the money, but we're going to find a way, Superintendent Van Ayers, before I put my foot in my mouth, we're going to try to do some negotiating to make sure that perhaps this money can be promised a little bit sooner than not. So hang in there, everybody. Thank you, everyone in this audience and TV. You did a marvelous job, hardworking staff. Board members, thank you for that, the assistance. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Gray. Member Perez?
Thank you. Yes, the voters spoke, and I'm thankful for that, for the teachers. But I'm going to say this, and I was very vocal about it. Where our support staff, I felt that we felt short in really supporting them when it came to the salary. When we look at the salary schedules for our support staff and the percentage that we provided them, they're, in front of our students on a daily basis. They're really, our bus drivers, our folks in the schools, in front of our students. To provide them with a 3%, we felt short, that we could have done better with our support staff. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm really excited for our teachers, but our recruitment when it comes to our support staff is we're falling really short when it comes to our bus drivers, when it comes, to providing that support to our teachers in the classrooms. A lot of our teachers are frustrated. They need that backing. Our nutrition staff, just a lot of our support staff that we really need and we require. I just feel that we felt a little short when it came to them. But I'm excited for our teachers. I'm excited for that 3%. But I just feel that we could have done our support staff much better. But, moving forward, I look forward to seeing what the recruitment is going to be here in Hillsborough County when it comes to making sure that these vacancies are filled. But I just felt that we could have done just a little bit better especially because a lot of these support positions are with our underserved, underrepresented populations in this district. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Perez. Member Combs?
I just wanted to make a clarification. We keep saying 3% or 6%, but that's not true. It's $6,000 for our instructional and $3,000 for the non-instructional, because we keep saying this percentage, and that's incorrect. So I just wanted to clarify that. I also want to say I definitely think, Member Perez, I agree that our non-instructional should have more, but I'm glad they have something, because we had to fight very hard as a board to make sure that they at least received something. So I always think it's not enough. I mean, for me, probably the person who had the most impact on me and is my bus driver, because that was the first person who saw me in the day and the last person who saw me, especially during challenging times. And we want that consistency. We want the same bus drivers, for them to be double runs. We want our non-instructional staff to know the students. So I think we had to fight hard. I think they deserve more, but at least 3,000 is better than nothing. But we keep saying this percentage, but it's 6,000 for the instructional and 3,000 for the non-instructional. I don't know what that percentage is. It depends on what you're getting paid, I guess.
Yeah,
so I just
correct.
wanted to clarify that.
Thank you, Member Combs. So it is 6,000 and 3,000, and actually the instructional support are receiving a higher percentage of their salary than the instructional staff. I don't know, Ms. Shotwell, do you have the number of what that percentage increase?
Depends on where you fall on the scale.
It would depend on where you are, obviously on every scale, but if I did want to just take one example, a starting instructional support employee who makes $15 per hour, it would be approximately 13.6% of their annual salary, where a starting teacher who is at $48,000 starting salary would be about 12.5%. So it is a higher percent of their salary, at least for starting employees, who is a key piece that we are trying to recruit and retain.
Thank you for that. Thank you, Ms. Shotwell.
Are you done, Member Combs? Thank you. Just in closing, I want to say, I appreciate all my fellow board members. We're in kind of uncharted territory right now. One thing I keep hearing is, that we all want to prioritize making sure that we pay our staff members, our employees, a livable wage, and that should be a priority. The only thing I really want to clarify and just make sure that we're keeping in mind is this should be separate from our negotiations. The voters voted this in separate from our negotiations. It has nothing to do with the salary negotiations that we'll have going into the year. This is, a separate supplemental that should be on the paycheck. I think where we're having discussion about now is, since the taxes come in mid-year, whether or not we as a board are going to be able to look at the budget holistically and offer that salary adjustment, or a supplement, not adjustment, starting at the beginning of the year. And for me, that's something that we should be prioritizing even before we start talking about negotiations. I would personally like to ask if it's something that we need to decide as a board, if it's something that we need to decide out of the sunshine in executive session, that we prioritize that as soon as we get back in January, because I think that there's going to be a lot of employees who are looking over the next few months whether they're going to buy a house, whether they're going to buy a car, what investments they're going to make in their future, and knowing whether they get paid, even if it's $100, $200, $300, whatever it looks like, starting in their paycheck in August will determine the decisions that they make going forward. So I think it's something that we need to prioritize deciding as soon as possible. I would hate to see negotiations go on longer than expected and our employees be in limbo when it comes to this money that the voters prioritized and approved. So that's a personal request I'm making to you. Did you have any thoughts?
Yeah, I would just if I could share that that's something that I will do as superintendent. We'll schedule an executive session in January where we can sit down as a board and have those discussions in an executive session.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Again, I appreciate everyone and prioritizing that we all are on board about making sure that our staff who work so hard, our employees, our teachers, we've mentioned our bus drivers, our janitorial staff, nutritional staff, mental health counselors, everybody gets paid a livable wage, because it is our priority. So, seeing no further discussion. Oh, what was that? Oh, Member Perez? Oh, I'm so sorry. I thought that was from before. Member Perez.
Thank you. So, yes, as it was mentioned, it's just not our bus drivers, it's our mental health professionals, it's everyone in those schools. And I appreciate the audience response, but, it's where their salaries are. That is that indicator of that percentage, because they are getting paid less. So, so it's the indicator of that percentage to where they are. And to me, I'm going to remind our audience that we did have an impactful hurricane to this district. And a lot of our support staff were impacted. And from what I understand, and the message that I read when the meeting started, is that a lot of them are still recovering from this impact to this district. And so with that message of compassion, understanding why I'm asking for this, to really look, is when we're raising salaries, to understand that these employees come to this district every day to support our students every day. Our bus drivers picked up these students, and then we have some bus drivers that did not even have a home to go back home to when they were picking up our students. So I get that we're increasing salaries, but when we look, we have to also look at how these increase in salaries also affect those who need the increase in salaries along with our teachers. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Press. Okay, seeing no further discussion, please vote when your lights appear. Thank you, and the motion passes unanimously with the present board members. All right, now we'll go on to 502, the revision of the 24-25 Student Code of Conduct. Superintendent Ayers will highlight this item.
Thank you, Madam Chair and board members. You've seen this agenda item is coming back before you again. A team of district leaders and school site principals met to propose necessary revisions and updates to that version of the Student Code of Conduct. Once those updates were implemented, a diverse committee of parents and community members met twice to review the document and provide input on additional items they wanted to see, particularly the roles and responsibilities of HCPS. A team of elementary administrators are working to draft a discipline matrix focused on elementary student behavior and needs. Further reviews and revisions will take place, and an additional revision will be shared summer of 2025. And Mr. Graves, Dr. Graves, any other thing you'd like to add on to that 502?
Yes, thank you, Superintendent Ayers. Board members, the version coming before you today for approval includes updates that were done in an effort to align language to the practices that are current in our school district and school board approved policy language. Additionally, updates and revisions were made based on feedback from our school board workshop on November 12th and input from communities. A few examples of updates that have been made include duties, rights, and responsibilities, updates to the policies and procedures such as attendance, digital citizenship, Hope Scholarships, medication records, search and seizure, MTSS. Also, if the language in the Student Code of Conduct was aligned to a policy, then the specific policy number was also put in parentheses, which is also a link to the policy itself. Thank you.
Thank you. I need a motion and a second to approve item C502. I have a motion by Member Combs and a second by Member Rendon. Member Combs, Member Gray, and I pulled this item. Would anybody like to get in the queue? Member Rendon. Do you want to go first? Nope, you got in the queue first. Member Rendon. I'm calling it Member Rendon.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair, and thank you so much for the due diligence. I want to bring attention and want to make sure that we play effort onto this. I think in recent months it's been more than apparent, and I think it's important that we continue to focus on this. When we look at the section on page 38 of the Discipline for Students with Disabilities, I think it's very important to understand that under the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, the purpose of the manifestation determination review under the individual is to determine whether the conduct was caused by or had a direct and substantial relationship to the child's disability, or if the child's conduct was a direct result of the local educational agency failure to implement the student's individual IEP plan or 504 plan. I want to make sure we speak about that public, and Ms. Brown and I have had many conversations, but I think it's important to note here within our district that we pay very close attention to this. Many times our IEPs are directed around goals that are directed around educational gains and educational goals, and yet we're not addressing behaviors as a whole or looking at a behavior. Because it's not on their IEP doesn't mean a behavior is a manifestation of their disability. And so I think we need to continue to look for education of our educators, education of our support staff, education of our leadership, to make sure we recognize that a behavior can be a manifestation of the disability, whether it's addressed in an IEP or a 504 plan. Because someone's disability can come out in a very different way, and they could have a behavior that actually alters or adjusts. Because their behaviors are a manifestation of their disabilities means their behaviors are not going to go away, but can adjust or change over time. And we have a lack currently of behavior analysts within our district, so we have a lack of that training within our district. And so I think it's very important that we make sure that as we move forward, this is written in our in our plan, in our student code of conduct, but we've got to make sure that we're doing a better job of addressing it within our district across the board. And so I think we need to make sure we do that. So it's very important for me to make sure I point that out and make sure all departments are going to be aware that we look at that and be trained better in what that means. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Member Rendon. Member Combs?
I had a couple comments. First, I want to thank our Chief of Schools, Rick Graves, and Michael Rowan for all this work and getting all this feedback and looking at things. I appreciate a lot of the positive behavior systems that we're putting in place. And I know, our counselors, our psychologists, our social workers, our principals, everybody's working collectively. We are seeing, an increase in trauma. We're seeing increase in misbehaviors. We know that. And I think it's I really appreciate the movement that we're trying to make sure that when students are acting out or they're misbehaving, that they are able to stay in school and they're not out of school for 10 days, because sometimes that's what a child wants. They want to be taken out of school because, they don't want to be in school. That's why they're misbehaving, if it's for academic or if it's home issues or it's, social issues, whatever the case may be. And I appreciate all of that. I also, want to continue looking at the ATOS programs, and I think making sure that transportation is available is a really big priority for us. And then the last thing I want to say is, as a former teacher, we always have to have high expectations. And I want to make sure that our teachers and our paraprofessionals and our bus drivers, everybody, that they're not scared to write up if there's a discipline issue. Because the more you have the higher expectations, the more the students will go to that. So we don't want to allow misbehavior, because we know a lot of times teachers leave the profession for funding, but they also leave the profession because of a climate and culture. And if they feel that if they write a referral, if they write 2 referrals, if a student talks inappropriately, that they're not going to be looked down upon, or that their principal or assistant principal is not going to come to them and say, please don't write that referral. We want to have positive behavior, but I want to encourage our teachers and our administrators and, our paraprofessionals to continue to have those high expectations. I think of a school, all my schools really in District 1, Alonzo High School, that has 3,000 students. You can walk through that school anytime. There's hardly anybody in the hallway. Kids are behaving. The expectations are there. So I think we have to continue to expect that. And I don't want our teachers to feel that they can't write up a referral because it's going to look back, and that we are charting who writes referrals and which school has the most based on the percentage. I think that's very important, that we continue to have high expectations for students, because students will meet you where you expect them to be. So I just wanted to make that point. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Combs. Member Gray?
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I want to thank Mike Rowan and Rick Graves, not only for editing, but adding some brevity to many of these referral systems. My attention has been, as both of you know, on page 50, the vaping. And I know that as a Hillsborough Healthy School or committee, we're looking at this in a way of health. But what has happened is, in the 2015, 2016, we had it down to 20%, and this is from the Department of Health, overall for high school. And now it's up to 46% kids are vaping in the schools with marijuana, and this comes right here with marijuana oil. So and there's THC, etc. There's danger going on. And why is this a concern? It's a concern because we haven't done enough. Statistics are only as good as if they're mirrored by actions. And the action steps that we have, although this has anything to do with your work at all, both Mike and Graves, Rick, it's because we have a tremendous amount of leeway. They get a parent conference, which is very, very critical, but then they get a referral, then they get another referral, then they get another, and time, it has very little teeth. So I've addressed this with you both. We are meeting with the sheriff department. In fact, the sheriff said it's way overdue. We have to tighten up the ship. 46% of the high schools, 46% of the students. And an interesting fast fact, too, is a lot of the non-Hispanic white females, and remember, this is with marijuana in the vapors, 43.7% non-Hispanic white females, and non-Hispanic black males, 25.9%, non-Hispanic black females, 29.2%, Hispanic males, 40.9%. Females, the males are 41.9%. This is last year. And females are 38.7%. What we're seeing is a huge rise in most of the board members know, because if you talk to the principals, they'll open their top drawer and you'll see all these vapors that have been collected. I mean, I can go around schools and ask. Plant City High School, bless her heart, she's trying to get cameras in there to try to catch all the vaping. It's so out of hand, and it's unhealthy. And by the way, academically, how can you learn? I'm a former teacher. If you're higher or getting higher than a kite. So at any rate, board members, what I'm saying, I'm doing this in the sunshine. I will go ahead and put the task, Dr. Rick Graves and Mike Rowan, what I want to do is make the edit to the policy 5530 and bring this to the board during our policy cycle. And I hope that the board will help me and us and the students to try to make a little bit more of a tight ship on this. Otherwise, I'm afraid that the 46% will go up to 70% more. And this is getting scary because the gummies and all the other stuff, it's getting such a easy accessibility. It's not helping our kids. And one of the priorities, and I'm talking too much again, but one of the priorities of a school board member is the safety and well-being of our children. And if I don't say something about this, and if our board members are truly for the kids, and they are, every one of us are 100% for our children's safety, I want to work with the board and our discipline committee to try to tighten up this ship. And that's what I want to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Gray. Member Perez?
Thank you, Madam Chair. So, as Dr. Graves and Mr. Rowan, I'm going to refer to page 50, the very last, the violation of classroom rules. Here it says mandatory, the first incident is parent conference, class detention. Second one is the first day of ISS. As you both know, we had an incident about a week ago, was it? I can't even remember. Everything is flowing together. But it's a violation of classroom rules. I don't even know, how would we know what classroom rules are when kids are, I'm going to refer to that incident that we had at the one school where a student passed gas and he got sent to ISS. I'm just a little confused as to how the principals or the teachers are translating things like this.
Yes, thank you, Ms. Perez. One of the things that in response to some of the inconsistencies with discipline data that we've seen over the years, that's exactly why the matrix was brought to the board and that was approved back in August, because we do want to create that consistency across our campus. And as one-offs, such as the incident that you spoke of, as that's brought to our attention, we do address that with the school, we do address that with the region superintendent, and we discuss through that with the parent as well. But for the most part, we do have our schools that are following the discipline matrix. We have seen a drop in the discipline data. We have seen a drop in the disparities as well. The other thing that's just a reflection of being more consistent with the matrix is our COEs. And to date, we have approximately 188 COEs at this time of the year, whereas last year we had over 500. So schools are doing a much better job of following the matrix. And again, as those one-offs are brought to us, we will address those.
So are the principals and teachers reviewing these along with the students and the parents, or is it just the student and the parents reviewing these?
No, the introductions and sharing of these practices, that typically occurs at faculty meetings as well as meetings with students as well. And the parents also have access to these copies, so that information is sent home and shared with them as well. And it's accessible on our website.
I just wanted to get some clarity on that, because this just is recent. And was this were these already in place, this violation of classroom, or is this brand new? Is this a revision?
The violation section that you're referring to?
Yeah.
Yes, that's actually always been in our code of conduct and discipline matrix, at least that I can remember. It's almost more of a catch-all in terms of what goes on, and it's more for a classroom teacher if they have an in-house, in-classroom rule and the students are breaking the rules. That's why it's the way it is. But what we did in August on that one is just to clarify, make sure the steps are kind of progressive in nature and they're not too harsh, because again, that's more of a catch-all for things that are happening in the classroom.
Superintendent, how are we making sure that our principals are reading up on this, that they acknowledge the student code of conduct and their side of that student code of conduct? Because this is just not for the student, this is for the principal as well. Because the student is affected by the principal in the school and the teachers not following this.
That is correct. So so consistency is what this is all about, and this is what this student code of conduct provides for our school district, is consistency across all of our schools. Now, when inconsistencies occur, that's where, we have a regional superintendent and Dr. Grace as chief of schools. We address those inconsistencies, but we meet monthly with our principals. This is something that, we talk about our student code of conduct, we address. So what this student code of conduct does for us is really provide, that template for how we discipline and change behaviors for HCPS. So yeah, it's about ongoing conversation, and know that we have our monthly principal meetings that we meet 9 times a year with our principals.
Because to Member Rendon's point and supporting what she was saying, the majority of the students who are really affected by not following the student code of conduct are the students, the ESC students, the students with IEPs and the 504s that the teachers have not even read, or even the principals don't even acknowledge that the students have an IEP or 504 and are being affected by this code of conduct. And they're the first ones who don't even, that student that I'm speaking about, were not even provided even that first incident piece from what I read in here.
And Member Perez, as Superintendent Ayers talked about, we have monitoring protocols that are in place. We have a data dashboard that is now up and running, and region superintendents, principals, assistant principals, they're able to monitor that data, and region superintendents are currently conducting data chats with schools around their academic data, but also around their discipline data as well. So as they monitor those trends and see things that sort of stick out when it comes to inconsistencies with data, they're able to drill down and ask more of those targeted questions and see where the gaps are.
And for Dr. in support of Dr. Graves, I have to say he really was really good in educating this principal and making sure that supports were in place for the principal and the teacher. So I want to thank you for that when it came to this to the student and the parent. But you know, we don't want anything else like this slipping through the cracks. But you know, just making sure that the principals and the teachers understand how this code of conduct is for them as well, not just for the students. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Perez. Member Gray.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And just as a corollary, we're speaking about disproportionate amount of students, black students being suspended. We're talking about Member Combs wants a strong policy on misbehavior, yet we want to keep kids in school. So all of this, those two dimensions, high suspension, keep the kids in school. What we did, and Tracy Brown, you should speak on this, and I know we're going to have monthly meetings, but what we did beginning in 2016, actually prior to that, was Doretha Edgecombe, board member, we expanded the positive behavior incentive support, the PBIS. So when Mike Rowan speaks about less COPs, or in that case, Dr. Grace speaks less COPs, which are change of placement, we know that years ago, and I want to say 4 years ago, this is an example of COPs for some of you who may want to understand how PBIS affects that those dire consequences of getting to another alternative school. We went from, this was Eisenhower, we went from 22 change of placements, and it went down when it was full fidelity at PBIS, full fidelity school, it went down to 5 PBIS. Why do I remember that? Because we had done a very laser focused look at how valuable PBIS will be to be in the balance. In other words, not to go way out and suspend, but very much into training students with behaviors and responses that will help them engineer better relationships, not only with their peers, but with their teachers and principals, etc. All right, so fast forward. Now we see the PBIS is lowering the referral rate. So I guess we can do a true or false, but we don't really have to, because right now the truism is we have less referrals and less suspensions. Ms. Brown, you speak so eloquently. You've been on the PBIS, and I know we've worked this very hard. Can you share a little bit about the why we have less suspensions and less COPs from PBIS?
Thank you, Member Gray. We have currently 99 schools that are actively PBIS schools, which means we're very intentional about the interventions that we have in place, as well as the incentives and rewards that we have in place. Every school has a Tier 1 behavior plan. In that Tier 1 behavior plan, there are 10 critical elements that are present in the PBIS model that we reinforce every day when region superintendents go out to schools. They're checking for that. One of the things you said, which I think is critical, and that is fidelity. We want to ensure that we are implementing PBIS with fidelity, and with the region superintendents, as we go out into schools and we check for fidelity, we recognize that when it is in place and it's done with fidelity and done well, there is a reduction in the misbehavior, which results in the discipline. So what we're trying to do is be absolutely proactive in preparing kids to respond appropriately in every situation. And so our goal here is to change behavior. It is not to exclude kids from class, from school, from instruction. It is to change the behavior so that they can remain in class and learn and get the benefits of great instruction. So we are on the path to training all of our schools in PBIS. We have 62 schools that are currently in a grant, and we are training them, and we're going to continue to train our schools until all of them are fully trained, and we get to do that with a partnership with USF. So we're really, really excited and appreciate your support and your advocacy for PBIS, and we're going to ensure that we are supporting our schools as they implement.
And I thank you for that. And we should also thank Stacy Wren as well. And the idea, Superintendent Van Ayers, is to make sure all the schools are involved and more than just a little tidbit here and there. And perhaps to Ms. Brown, you can send an invite to the board members when we have, the actual USF. We have a actual class, a course, and I think it's 2 or 3 days, but it's really ignites a powerful way of how behavior can be modified in a positive direction, and that's really so true of today. So I thank you for your commitment, and Dr. Grays and Mike Rowan, thank you for putting that into this atmosphere of the Student Code of Conduct. And I also would welcome parental knowledge, the outreach. I don't know if we have FACE team here. Mr. Young, too. I think the parents would be very, and community leaders would be very, very much appreciative of knowing what we're doing as we go along. So that will be a subject that we can discuss later. Thank you very much. Done.
Thank you, Member Gray. Member Rendon?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I do have a question about, Member Gray brought up the vaping, and vaping is a very big issue throughout the district, but in conjunction with vaping with marijuana, and it does happen, but how are we clarifying that? Because I do see where her need for clarification comes in. When we look at drug use or possession, we actually specifically state this is not including vaping, but I don't believe we can clarify at the time we remove a vape whether it is marijuana. Do we have a process in place to determine what's inside the vape?
Excuse me. Thank you, Mr. Herndon. The short answer is no, we don't. So that's why we, at the current, and that's part of the reason why we're going to meet with the sheriff, is that the current practice is when we recover the vape, there's no immediate test. There's no way to know if it's drugs or not drugs unless the student actually admits to it. So that's why there's a separation between a drug offenses and how we handle those versus vaping is separate. Vaping is almost more like a tobacco consequence.
And majority of the time, it does tend to be that way. I mean, I have a teenager. I get it. There's majority of the time, and the use of vaping is not drug use. However, there is. So if we do look at policy, prior to looking at policy, I would request that we do have a determination, because if we can't determine whether it's a drug, we can't really determine a consequence. So I think we have to clarify that moving forward.
And I do believe that's part of where our frustration comes in, or
Correct.
Gray's frustration comes in, because we don't have that distinction going on at schools, and we don't have it readily available to us.
Well, and there is situations where there's CDB, but that's not considered a drug. I mean, that's not considered a drug. So I do understand where the frustration comes in, but we do, before we go to policy, we definitely need to make sure we clarify that. And then my other question is, and moving off of some of the other situations and other members have mentioned, we have the ability through all of our systems where we can have a document acknowledged by our employees. And I think this is one of those where both our students, our parents, and our students should acknowledge that. I mean, our educators should acknowledge that they have read the document. Whether that's, if we're going to approve this tonight, then we need to look for it for January, and then moving forward, the beginning of every school year. We do beginning of the year packets. If we do them on Canvas, if a parent doesn't acknowledge that they've read it and their student gets in trouble, we need to make sure we've provided this to you, and we want to make sure that we provide that to them directly, not just on our website, but I think we have to go after an acknowledgement by parents and our employees. I think this is an important document for the success of our students, for the success of our district. And making sure they have the opportunity to see it, both parents and our educators, is very important. And our our management staff. I mean, I think this is across the board. Every employee should see employee handbooks, student code of conduct. I think this is critical that everyone should be acknowledging it. So I know we have the ability to do that within our district, and I think that's something we should come up with. If we're going to approve it tonight, we do it first in January, and then we move forward at the beginning of every school year. I think we need to make sure our parents acknowledge it as well as our staff. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Rendon. First, I believe as a parent, I sign something in my kid's packet every year that I've acknowledged and read the student code of I believe I signed something that says I've read this. Is this not included in our packet?
Yes, many schools do send this home, and as a requirement, they have the families read
So
over
we need
it
to
and
make
sign
sure
it.
it's instead of many that we're creating
It's a consistent
accountability that it's all
practice.
schools. Okay, I appreciate that. One, I appreciate, the fact that this has come before us because it shows that you're listening to board members, that we have concerns. I know it's really challenging to walk the line between talking about, the disproportionality that we have with our marginalized students and making sure that, we're creating equity in our policies when we're looking at this, but also making sure that our employees feel supported and that they are able to be responsive when there are behavior problems. I know that's a really hard line to walk. So I appreciate that you're bringing this, that you're listening to the community, that you're including a lot of different members, that you're getting board member feedback as you create this. I like that it's coming back again, thanks to, I believe it was Member Gray's suggestion about doing it tiered for elementary, middle. So I assume that this is going to continue to be a living document. I do also want to speak to the point that I know Member Rendon does have a point that I think that we need to do a better job of supporting all of our classroom teachers so that they can support our ESE students and making sure that they understand how to read and implement 504s. I know we've talked about that as well. Ms. Brown is maybe providing that training to make sure, because our ESE students are part of our marginal groups that we talk about, the disproportionality when it comes to that. I expect us to continue to work on this document as we get feedback of what's working and what isn't. But I think what the most important thing is that we need to emphasize more than just have you read this, is that the key to success is relationships and communication, right? And that is getting to know your students and understanding their challenges. And PBIS isn't going to work if we don't understand what motivates our students and what language it is. So while I appreciate this document gives clarity and it helps people understand the process, what I think we need to emphasize as a district as we implement this, or we even talk about response to behavior, is the importance of building those relationships, knowing your students, giving grace, giving the benefit of the doubt, keeping the expectations high, as Member Combs said, but really making sure that we focus on that piece of it, because it doesn't matter what we write down, it doesn't matter what we put in here. If we're not talking about relationships and getting to know your students and clear communication, it's not going to be as effective. So that's the piece that I hope that we can't necessarily capture in this, but that comes forward as we move forward with this. So those are my only comments. I appreciate it. I know we've had a lot of comments. I'm the only one back in the queue, right? Okay. So seeing no further discussion, please vote when your lights appear. All right. And it passes unanimously with all of the board members who are present. Now we're going to go on to 1201, which is just an informational item. Hillsborough County Public Schools Charter School Annual Report. Superintendent Ayers will highlight this agenda item.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And board members, you've seen this report before. This comes before you every single year. This is our Public Schools Charter Office Annual Report. And what's in this annual report, and again, this is an information item that we brought forward. This annual report provides stakeholders with an overview of what a charter school is, summary of student demographics served alongside district comparisons, and overall student performance of charter schools in Hillsborough County. Also in there is a list of charter schools served by board member for last year. Important to note, there were no new charter schools open for 24-25. summary of authorizing and monitoring activities, including applications, contract renewals, amendments, school improvement, and school closures, and a profile sheet containing school information for each charter school operating in 23-24. And again, this is just an information item you've seen we bring forward every year to meet. It's really just about good practice for school districts to have an annual report that kind of outlines that. And I just want to thank Chintzia DeLang for all her hard work in providing this annual report yearly, and it's very clear. So thank you, Chintzia. So Chintzia is here if you have any questions about information item, the annual report for charter schools.
Thank you, Superintendent Ayers. Member Combs, Member Gray, and I pulled this item. Please get in the queue if you have a question or a comment. Member Combs.
Sorry, my voice is so bad tonight. First of all, I want to thank you, Dr. DeLang. I know, you're heading to retirement soon to be a Nona, but I just want to say I really appreciate your leadership. I mean, you're probably the first year I probably spent so much time with you up in the office, and thank you so much for just everything that you've done for the district and making sure that we really have clarity and we understand the partnership with charter schools. I also want to remind everyone, our charter schools were partners as we went through the referendum, and those schools will also benefit from the referendum money. So is everyone working together? I think more and more what you're seeing is parents want different choice. If it's a magnet choice or a local school choice, or if it's a school down the road or charter schools, I think that your report really makes sure that there's oversight and accountability, because it's important for parents as they enter schools to answer those really key questions. That's something that looks beautiful. You want to ask those key questions, what that looks like. Is there certified teachers? What kind of curriculum? Different things of that nature. It's really important, as we have vouchers and things like that, and we're spending our taxpayer money, that there is accountability and that there is oversight, that people aren't spending money on getting a kayak or going to Disney World, and the kids are getting a really good education. I think that's very important no matter what. I also want to say that the Department of Education, in collaboration with the Florida Charter School Alliance, they had those 4 modules. I saw a couple of them. I need to see the rest of them. But I think it's important as board members that we're really informed and that we understand, to make sure that we advocate for whatever parents choose. But at the end of the day, it's about oversight and accountability and parents being able to choose what's best for their own child. And I really just want to thank you. I can't thank you enough, and let you know you will really be missed. I know it's a few months from now, but I just want to say thank you for your hard work and making sure that the next person is prepared and ready to do. I know Angela will do a great job, and I just want to say thank you for everything.
Thank you, Member Combs. You're very kind with your words. I believe Angela will be phenomenal, and the transition will be smooth.
Thank you, Member Combs. Member Endon?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to echo some of Member Combs's remarks. We just really want to appreciate all the work that you have done. It's a lot when a whole state changes a whole system in a direction, and you have just been a champion for being able to provide accurate information. You have been a source of knowledge to not only this board, but to this district and also to the charter schools. So you have been a constant that has really been able to steer the ship in a way in which they know they can trust what you say and the knowledge that you have. And that is just enormous. You will be truly missed.
Thank you, Member Endon. Member Gray?
Indeed, Dr. DeLang, you've been just a wonderful addition to mitigate many of those questions, those hard challenges that we've asked for many years regarding charter schools. As part of the Charter School Alliance, which I've served on, I know that the systems of accountability and oversight are critical, as they are in our own schools. I mean, tonight we even mentioned to the superintendent, when we have the millage, we need that oversight. And before that, in 2018, when we had the referendum, we needed the oversight. I mean, Mr. Farkas probably has things memorized that he knows he's going to have questions. Where does it go? How is it done? You know, all these little details. And you've captured that, Dr. DeLange. You've even revised and you added, you know, more filters for us to see and to understand the charter school apparatus. I think we're doing good to Member Combs' partnership. I think we're doing much better. I think it's so hard to take a public school system that we've had most of our lives and integrate these new schools. But you've actually made it a little bit easier. And you know, we're coming along as we need to. School choice. Now, one thing I will say, and I'll talk to the Alliance on this, is that they have to work on their security, because now we had the Christian school again, or not that school again, in Madison, Wisconsin. You know, their security systems are not matched with ours. So, you know, that's a discussion. Well, you can clarify in case, but you know,
I'll be happy to clarify. Actually, the Chief Newman's team goes into all the charter schools and to to ensure that their security and they're following all the state standards for security. So Chief Newman is on top of that as well.
So there, you know, that's so good to hear, because it's just very worrisome what goes on when the gates are not closed and locked. But at any rate, the recognition is all for you, Dr. DeLange. Enjoy wherever you're going next.
Thank you. You're also very kind, but I will be back in January with 3 contract renewals. So you'll see me in January.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll thank you again. This is all righty. Well, happy holidays then. We'll go with that. All right. I'm done. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Member Gray. Member Perez.
No, I just appreciate you in this report, because you're very transparent, at least with this board member, when it comes to questions that I have with our charter schools. When you don't feel that a charter school is going to make it, you let us know, or you let me know. You know, when I ask about the finances for the schools, you're very transparent with that as well. So, you know, I appreciate the report, the annual report, and the transparency that you have with that.
And I want to add, you know, all the comments and questions that you have provided me, you know, I analyze them and see how to incorporate those in our documents and our protocols. And so the annual report is a product of all that. And I think it's a very valuable tool for the community when they're making the choices of, you know, where to educate their children. You know, they can, it will be on our website. We do send it to all the charter schools. I did present, thank you, Ms. Gray, Member Gray, for inviting me to the Hispanic Leadership meeting. I did present it to that community. So it is important for them to know that there are tools for them to make good choices for their children.
I know that you have made a big difference when it's come to our questions like with social workers in those schools, or when it's come to ESC. And making sure that IEPs are, that they focus on their IEPs. That has made a big difference when it comes to educating the charter schools and their growth as well. So I appreciate that. Thank you for this annual report. And, you know, I'll see you in January.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Member Perez. You know, we were all prepared to give you your flowers now because we weren't sure if you were coming back with an agenda item in January. So I'll save my comments for January. You guys all got yours out. I'll save mine till the end there. But I just want to say, you know, I always pull this item because I think it's so important. Parents, you know quickly where to go to look at our traditional public schools and look at our grade and compare and see gains or see losses. But they struggle figuring out how to really compare or look at our charter schools. And so, while I appreciate this is on the website, I'm always going to ask, and you guys say yes, but I don't know if you're following through. I would love to see a parent link sent out letting people know that this charter school report is available and where they can find it. Because I think people also didn't necessarily understand what a charter school is, that it has most of the same funding as we do. It's just privately managed. I've had a lot of parents reach out to me recently who are concerned about maybe some changes at the federal level and whether funding is going to change in our schools, especially when it comes to our ESE students. And they're looking at charter schools and they don't understand that funding is the same. If we get cut from the federal government, charter schools are going to as well. They hear charter school and they automatically think it's a better option than our traditional public schools. And some may be and some may be not, but at least with this information, they can compare, they can look at those grades, they can see and they can do their due diligence. So I think this is such a crucial document. I really love the way that it's laid out. I think a lot of the time just laying things out so that people can easily navigate it and find the information that they're looking for is so crucial in the way that people engage with the information that we give them. So I appreciate the way that it's laid out. The only thing that I would say, you won't be here next time, is I would like to see the 2024 grades put first in the column and then go downwards so that when you looked at it to the left, you saw this year's grades. It confused me a little bit because there were some schools that I thought had different grades, and then I realized that the first column I was looking at was 2020, and I had to go all the way over to find 2024. So, just having it so that your first eye goes to the current school grade would be the only suggestion that I think might make it a little bit easier to read. But it looks great, even down to the color scheme and the font and the graphics that you use. So I just really appreciate the hard work. And I'm glad that we have this, and I'm gonna send a lot of parents this way so that they can know what they're choosing, right? That's the most important part of choice, is to know what you're choosing. So thank you very much. We don't need to take a vote on this because it is just an informational item. And I'd like to actually now move on to employee comment, which is time for certain at 6 p.m. We'll now take employee input. Even though we hear public comment at the beginning of the meeting, it's sometimes difficult for our employees of our district to attend a meeting at 4 p.m. There are many ways for our employees to make their voices heard, including through union representatives, emails and phone calls, one-on-one conversations, and public comment at the beginning of the meeting. The board wants to hear from you. With this section of our agenda, we're creating another avenue for employees to speak to the board. We're setting aside 30 minutes, which I don't think we'll use tonight, for employees of the district to speak to the board about any issues that are on your mind. This is not intended to be a discussion about specific agenda items for tonight's agenda, but rather an opportunity for you to speak to the board about any issues related to your job or the district. Each speaker will have 3 minutes, and I now call up the first 3 speakers. Or 2 speakers.
You hit the post perfectly. 6 p.m. Excellent, Member Vaughn. Happy holidays, everyone. Hey, let's not forget this unifying moment that we're all within here during the holiday season and what's going on. Okay. Other districts don't get this level of collaboration and communication. We're not always going to agree, but work is always going to be really, really hard because we're doing the right work. We're doing it for kids. This campaign, and I know that Ellen Lyons came up here. She was the president of the PAC, did a great job of thanking all of our community partners on that. But it truly takes a village. And in this case, the biggest little town in America called Hillsborough County voted to do what's right for our students and for our employees of our public schools. And that's a credit to the board. That's a credit to these administrators. And it's a credit to all of the parents and the students and the teachers and the support professionals that are doing the work out there. I would be remiss if I didn't mention that HCTA, we represent the teachers and support professionals, the paraprofessionals and the clerical staff, but we also fought for the bus drivers and we fought for the lunchroom workers and the custodians, as well as the administrators, knowing how underpaid they are for the great work that they do in our district. Again, coming together to make this happen is something that doesn't happen throughout this state. We have a great board, we have great administration, and we have amazing teachers doing great work for our students. Let's not forget that. So let's keep coming back and doing the great work here, because together we can move mountains here in this district. So happy holidays to all of you. Fa la la, and thank you so much.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Hi, season's greetings, board, superintendent, cabinet.
I appreciate the discussion and the approval of the millage MOU. It's much needed. And regarding the vacancies, I know it's been said, and I agree, that salary is not the only thing driving people out of the profession. It does allow us to stay competitive with other counties, and that is important. But, nobody becomes a teacher or goes into social services for the money. I think that's fair to say. There's kind of a balance. When I was in the classroom, the pay is low, but you had a higher job satisfaction, right? There was a joy that you got. I knew that I could put my head on my pillow knowing that I was making a difference. And that meant more to me than maybe going into another profession and earning higher pay. However, what is contributing to driving people out of the field is that the job satisfaction is now lower. And I've spoken to actually every single one of you up here about the working conditions in our county. And I know that each of you has a genuine desire to improve these working conditions. And I really do just wanted to acknowledge that and thank you for that. We really want to bring back the joy to working in our schools. So I'm hoping that we can have perhaps a New Year's resolution, to cultivate joy in all of our schools. And I really look forward to working with each and every one of you to do that. So thank you, and happy holidays, happy New Year.
Thank you very much. We will now move on to the superintendent's comments. Mr. Superintendent?
Thank you, Madam Chair. So superintendent comments this afternoon, as always, we'll start around our strategic plan. Want to start around supportive organizational culture and Invention Convention mentor support. After earning Best of Show at the Invention Convention Americas competition, King High School junior Daniel Park took a moment recently to honor the mentors who supported him in his journey to develop his science project. He surprised Plant City High School biology teacher Miss Brenna McFarland, King High School biology teacher Miss Chelsea Swats, and USF graduate teaching associate Mr. Aiden McFarland with an award and thanked them for their support. Congratulations to Daniel, and special to me as well, Daniel sits on my Superintendent Advisory Council. So spreading holiday cheer, it's the season of giving, and our staff at Woodbridge Elementary School are making sure everyone who is a part of their school community feel the love and support. Yesterday morning, they not only surprised their bus drivers with holiday gifts, but they sent the holiday treat train around campus for staff to enjoy treats during the day. And Miss Gray, you'll be happy to know, Miss Morse, I saw her at the, Miss Gray? See, you do it to me, and I'm doing it to you.
You caught me.
I caught her. No, so I was just mentioning, but at Miss Morris, I caught her at the Hot Chocolate 15K. The principal at Woodbridge ran the 15K. I saw her on Sunday.
Really?
Yeah, she was there. So she was running.
Good
So
for
next time
her.
I see Miss Morse, yeah. Holiday shopping for students. Members of our Security and Emergency Management Department are doing their annual holiday shopping for students. Representative from and this is really neat, representatives from 16 schools are paired with school security officers, and they pick out $1,000 worth of toys and sports equipment. So talked to Chief Newman today. They had 5 schools last week receive their gifts. Tomorrow will be 5 more, and then on Thursday is the final 6 where they distribute their gifts to the students. So thank you to Chief Newman, the entire team. I think Neptune's back there. Thank you guys for all that you guys do with that. Very, very neat. And this was this yesterday or today? We've had a lot of these. This is yesterday. All right. So yesterday we celebrated the remarkable legacy of Dr. Wayne Anthony Quinn as we dedicated the multi-purpose room at Gary Adult High School in his honor. Dr. Quinn joined HCPS in 1997, where he worked tirelessly to empower students, particularly at-risk students. His leadership at Gary Adult included creating programs such as Lecture on the Hill Speaker Series and the Suit Up and Show Up initiative, both of which encourage students to achieve their full potential. His profound impact on education, civil rights, and the Tampa community will inspire us for generations to come. And Chair Vaughn, Member Rendon, I know you were both there. It was a inspiring morning to see the impact that Dr. Quinn had at Gary in this district. And this was our Family Center, Community Center ribbon cutting. So today I joined school board members, district leaders, and community members at a ribbon cutting for the grand opening of our Family Community Center located near Alexander Elementary School in West Tampa. This new center will be a centralized hub of resources and support for our students and their families so they have all the tools needed for success. The new center will be able to offer families an orientation to our school districts, school physicals, academic advising, college and career advising, school enrollment guidance, and more. 20 years ago, way before she joined our school board, Member Combs had a vision for this center, and we are grateful to Member Combs and also Christina Fernandez and her family and community engagement team, the FACE team, for bringing this vision to life. And Mr. Murillo, thank you as well for all your support as well. Exceptional talent. Want to congratulate Marshall Middle Magnet IB World School Principal Dennis Mayo on being named the 2025 Florida Music Education Association's Secondary Administrator of the Year. He will be recognized during the FMEA Professional Learning Conference in January. So board members, I'll make sure and get that date to you. It's right here at the Convention Center. In collaboration with Marshall music teacher Jeff Kerr, Principal Mayo has provided an environment for students to find their passion through music and has watched the program grow over the past couple of years within the school and Plant City community. Also, want to congratulate Heather Smetna on receiving the 2024 Brian Newton Award for Excellence in Education Award by the Florida Educators of Students Who Are Deaf and Hard of Hearing organization. She helped coordinate a group of 4 middle school students from different school sites to participate in a math bowl. The team won 4th place at the regional competition and took 5th place at the national competition in Rochester, New York. She also started a club called Better Together at one of our high schools, encouraging students with hearing loss and or vision loss to come together. The students have built a wonderful and positive community at their school. Thank you to Ms. Smetna for making a daily impact on the lives of our students. And just a literacy update, just to kind of talk through some assessment updates. And we haven't had a chance with the hurricane. We've had some delays with our PM1 and PM2. So just an update, the FAST PM2 assessment window opened on December 2nd and officially closes at the end of January. However, most schools should be finished by the end of the week, and we look forward to sharing results with the board just as last year around PM1 and PM2, where we kind of sit as we look to progress monitor where we'll end up for PM3. We'll provide those in January. So, and soon after we return from winter break, secondary schools also will begin the streamlined semester exam administration. Again, this first semester has been quite a bit different. No exams for our students. They're normally taking it this week. So in January, as that semester ends January 16th, will be streamlined semester exam administration for those students who need to take the exam to earn course credit and for any students who need to take the exam to improve their grade point average. I did want to provide one suspended agenda update as well. It was just at our last board meeting on December the 3rd where the board approved the contract for Focus. So I just wanted to, I will keep bringing to these monthly. So this is just an update as of now. We've been, and I want to thank Dr. Whalen for her hard work over the last couple of weeks. Not only last couple of weeks, but over the last 2 months in getting us to this place. So I'm going to, first off, I want to thank Dr. Whalen for getting us here. Long way to go, but I want to provide at least some updates today of where we are, what we've done since December the 3rd. So Dr. Whalen, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Ayers. So board members, as Mr. Ayers mentioned, since our last board meeting where the new Focus Student Information System implementation was added to our suspended agenda, we have accomplished many critical tasks. Meetings were held with Focus, MGT, district, and site-based staff members on December 5th and 6th, and then again on December 11th, and our project kickoff occurred on last Thursday, that was December 12th, with over 50 participants. Our theme of creating energy, clarity, and excellence was evident throughout every session. This is our overview of the project timeline that was shared with each of our groups to make sure that we had all groups included and that each of our major milestones was also evident, and that we were making sure that we had covered all of those. This was also, this is our plan moving forward from December. We told you we were going to be starting that very week from the last board meeting, and then this will be taking us all the way through to July. On our next slide, this shows the survey responses from our participants at last Thursday's kickoff meeting. So the key takeaways are noted that 81% of the respondents and participants had a strong understanding of the vision and purpose of our Focus implementation, and that 78% had a high degree of confidence in those key milestones that you just saw and alignment with the overall project timeline. We also noted successes that were emphasized and additional opportunities to provide clarification and support as we move forward with the project. This slide represents all of our specialty groups that are scheduled to provide input and demonstrations regarding all of our system functionalities. By the end of this week, our draft training plan will be available. We have collected dates for all of our group meetings scheduled from January 2025 through the springtime of 2025. Additionally, in our first week back in January from the holiday break, we will be providing all demonstrations of the system by focus staff, and this will occur, well, we'll have a cabinet, we'll be reviewing that in cabinet on January the 6th, and then also January 8th at our principals meeting, January 9th at the assistant principals meeting, and then that same evening, HCTA has their rep council meeting scheduled, and so we will be also providing this demonstration to our instructional and ESP staff members as well as the HCTA leadership. On the next slide, you will see, and we have listed all of the team members, thank you, Mr. Ayers, all of the team members who participated in one or multiple planning meetings and our kickoff. And I would like to thank each of them for their generous gift of their time and expertise and input to ensure the success of this project. And these are many of the same people that have also been instrumental in working with our synergy stabilization. And I forgot to put Pablo on there, so I did want to thank Pablo for the technical support that he provided to us. So again, we thank you for the opportunity to provide this update and this ongoing update that we will be providing to you on focus, implementation, our timeline, and what we have been able to accomplish already in the past 2 weeks. Your continued support and the accountability that you have given to us are greatly appreciated.
Thank you, Dr. Whalen, for that update. And board members, for my last slide, as we wrap up the last few days of school, last few school days of the year, I just want to wish everyone a happy holidays and hope you all have a wonderful and safe winter break. Please enjoy, relax, and recharge these next 2 weeks with your loved ones. We'll see everyone back on Monday, January the 6th. And I do have, people don't realize, in this room, y'all are very lucky. Valerie back there, you're going to get to see something, a little sneak peek at something. So this is a sneak peek of the winter break message that will go out to our staff, and it's pretty cool. Wait till you see it. It's a sneak peek of our winter break message that will go out to our staff and families as we head into the break. I want to thank Roland Park K-8, Burns Middle, and Bloomingdale High students for participating in the video, and our communications team for helping develop this pretty unique message for the holidays. So let it play.
I'm scared. She thinks she can.
That's awesome. Great. Merry Christmas. Thanks, man.
How many people do we have in IT?
Happy holidays from Hillsborough County Public Schools. We're excited to present a special song that shares the education and growth over the 12 years of learning. Join us in celebrating the achievements of our students. Take it away, guys.
On the first year of learning, my teachers taught to me my numbers and my ABCs. On the second year of learning, we're getting really smart. We also sing and make arts. On the third year of learning, we're super proud to say our reading scores are higher than Santa sleigh. On the fourth year of learning, our teachers have prepared for us to win the science fair. On the fifth year of learning, our minds are very strong. To middle school, we're soon to move on. On the sixth year of learning, nature's classroom is for me. The animals are really fun to see. On the seventh year of learning, in class we will stay. Attendance matters every day.
On the 8th year of learning, our magnet seems so cool. I can't wait to pick a high school. On the 9th year of learning, high school is so fun. There's clubs and sports for everyone. On the 10th year of learning, many classes we can choose. Honors, ACE, and AP too. On the 11th year of learning, me and all my peers are focusing on college and career. On the 12th year of learning, we're ready all around for the new year and our cap and gown.
It all starts with us, the kindergartners! Happy holidays!
I told you it was neat. See? All right. That concludes my comments. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We will now move on to board member comments. Board members, just a reminder, you'll have 5 minutes each to speak with 30 seconds for final thoughts. Member Combs?
I mean, how do I go after that? I mean, I have to say, as a middle school teacher, it's really funny to see like the kindergarten, all the transition, less students and, and it was just great in the chorus. And that was amazing. I thank you for whoever came up with it. I'm sure it's communications. That was just an amazing, amazing video. I can't wait to share it everywhere. It was great. I just want to say thank you, Superintendent Ayers, for supporting the Parent Community Center. And thank you, Member Gray and Member Vaughn, for coming today. People have to remember there's no ink that it didn't come out of anything. The individuals who are working there were working in ROSAC. So there's no increase in general fund. Instead of working at ROSAC, they're out in the community and they're supporting our community. And that's the most important thing. Once we stabilize families and parents and provide them information, then they can provide that support for the students. We already have a volunteer or an individual who wants to make an endowment, have scholarships. So we have so many things going on there and really connecting with business partners to help support families. I'm proud to say District 1, the enrollment continues to increase in all those schools and there's so many students. I mean, we have Alonzo High School was bursting at the seams. Every one of District 1 schools, the increase in Town and Country has been exponential. So to see that is just amazing. And one unintended consequence that happened from that is we've already had 44 people come in who needed help to apply who are currently going to work in Hillsborough County. Today I met the one person who was the first applicant, and he told me that he didn't have a computer and he wanted to work for Hillsborough County Public Schools, but he had no access to a computer, and he also needed help to actually fill out the application. So many great things are happening there, and I just want to thank the entire team. I want to especially thank Marcos Merlot for your vision and for your support, Owen Young, the FACE team, the administration that all came today, the community, and finally Christina Fernandez, who's working so hard to make that a success. I'm calling her all the time and going by because it's really very important. I remember, 20 years ago talking about the need for parents to really understand how to navigate our school system, also ESC, how to support that, and so many other things that we're doing. So I'm really excited about that. I also just wanted to, share one of my favorite events of the year is the Holiday Bazaar for our ESC students. And I know I have a slide. It was just amazing.
Hi, my name is Sophie Farnan, and this...
sorry. This is the slide. So this was the Holiday Bazaar, and it was just amazing to see all of our high school students. I bought so many wonderful things, and I have this beautiful decoration from last year that sits on my piano to really remember like why we're here, what we're doing, and just all the wonderful paras and teachers and administrators who came out. It's just one of my very favorite events of the year, and I'm looking forward tomorrow. There's going to be Caminiti's got their school play, so I'm looking forward to going to that. Lastly, we have so many incredible students in Hillsborough County Public Schools, and I just wanted to spotlight a student that I met about a year ago. Her name is Sophie Farnan, and she's a student at Sickles, and with Echo Partners, she saw a need that not every child can wear, have a homecoming dress, or boys have clothes. I know for me, growing up, I never had a new dress, because it's just expensive. So she started Sophie's Closet, and I really want to share this amazing video of what she's doing, and I was able to be part of that. Pablo, if you'll just share this real quickly.
Sophie's Closet. The idea for Sophie's Closet started small, to provide free formal wear for students in need at my local high school so they can attend homecoming and prom. According to Hillsborough County data, 40% or more of students are on free and reduced lunch due to their parents' financial situation. I partnered with the nonprofit organization Eco Brothers Inc., which provided a grant to help cover costs. They also hosted a collection event at a local business where attendees included school board member Nadia Combs and Bonnie Eaton of Roots and Shoots. I also partnered with a local dry cleaner who provided dry cleaning at no cost. Through the power of social media, donations of new and gently used formal wear began to pour in. Sophie's Closet was rapidly growing. My goal was to make it so that no matter what the financial situation was, any student will be able to go to homecoming or prom and be part of that high school tradition. I created flyers, which were posted to not only my high school but other local schools as well. We are all set up for the very first Sophie's Closet event. The event provided more than 400 free dresses, suits, pants, dress shirts, and ties. Many students also got free shoes, purses, jewelry, and more. The best part is how quickly Sophie's Closet grew. More than 125 students from 5 different high schools and a foster care facility came to the event. It was heartwarming to hear stories of just how much this event meant to students and their families. My collection will be ongoing as I plan to expand Sophie's Closet to even more schools in the future.
And it was such an amazing event to see the students and the excitement walking out. Students that probably wouldn't have been able to go to homecoming. Lastly, you can drop off clothes anytime at Sickles. There's going to be on January 12th at West Chase Martial Arts. There's going to be a drive there. And always at Sophie's Closet, 2024.sophiescloset@gmail.com. You let her know and she'll pick up the clothes. And it's just such an amazing thing to see someone who's making a difference. So thank you, board members, for the extra time. And I wish everyone a happy holiday season. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Combs. Member Gray?
That is just so inspiring. Member Combs and I have plenty of clothes, so which I can donate. But I want to thank our principals, as always, but a special call out to Dr. Jeremy Klein of Brandon High School. It has been brought to my attention that he received the annual Hillsborough County Public School Workforce Development Award. And the reason is he has led, among every other things, he's done great work at Brandon High School, but he has led a lot of our non-college bound students into the workforce. And what a dedicated and devoted principal he has been. And a transformational principal at Brandon High School. So I wanted to give Dr. Jeremy Klein a shout out. So next, also a lot of excitement. We're having the Race for Education, April 12th. City of Tampa, the Mayor Jane, thank you, has approved the course. A little bit of deviation, not much. We still have the bridge. It will take place, as I said, April 12th, Blake High School, and the time is 8 a.m. And a special thanks to Emery Courtney, Superintendent Van Ayers, and our wonderful HEF, Hillsborough Education Foundation, for making this happen, among many other donors as well. Member Combs, you have had a vision about I say yours, it's the Parent Community Center, and it came into fruition today. And it was just a proud moment, not only for the communities to see your face, but also to see the staff, the teachers, the social workers, community leaders, our Hispanic Forum. Everyone came out to say Thank you. We need this socially, academically, physically, mentally. Every avenue has been taken care of in this particular center. Can't wait to duplicate it in South County. That's next. But at any rate, I want to thank Member Combs. Special shout out to Christina Fernandez. And Owen Young, you've been mentioned. Your FACE team did a tremendous job. Dr. Felita Lewis was there. And Mr. Murillo, thank you as well. I know that you were behind the scenes, so I wanted to include you. And as always, our Hillsborough County Public School Hispanic Forum. Everybody, have a wonderful holiday season. Relax, and hopefully you'll take a very desirable trip. But if not, enjoy your family and friends. Thank you all.
Thank you, Member Gray. Member Perez?
Yes. So I was going to mention Dr. Jerry Klein, but thank you for just sending him a shout out as well for being recognized as the outstanding principal, Brandon's outstanding principal. And he was mentioned at the Feeding Tampa Bay facility and received that special recognition. But mine's just going to be short and sweet. Just want to make sure that everybody takes care of themselves, in these next 2 weeks, takes the rest that they need and require, and take it easy, because I know that at least I'm difficult on everyone when I'm calling, and I am, a challenge for our students and making sure that things are going right for our families and our students here in this district. So, and I appreciate when the phone calls are answered, Dr. Graves and Superintendent Ayers, and our students need what they need, to make sure that they are successful in our district. But thank you for all you do, and Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and enjoy your families. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Perez. Member Rendon?
Thank you, Madam Chair. And thank you so much for the software update. Excuse me. I would be remiss if I didn't say, as I look at this list of staff that are involved in the process, although they're wonderful staff, I'm not going to delineate that, but I don't see staff that are directly working at our schools on an ongoing basis, the teachers, the ESC workers. So I'm going to ask that we continue to try to get the people that are working this system on a daily basis more involved. And so I can't stop making sure that we continue to make them a priority, because at the end of the day, it's up to them to give us the data. It's up to them to use the system, and we continue to have people that it's not them. So I would be remiss if I didn't say that when I looked at this, we've got some principals, but we don't have our active staff. And that is part of respecting and valuing our staff, that they're a part of this process. So I really want to hope that as we move forward, we're going to incorporate them even more. The other thing is, as I looked at the timeline, I see a very short window of training. I'm going to hope that really is just the beginning of training, and we're going to actively be going throughout the summer, making sure that everybody feels comfortable as we move forward, that they've got hands-on, one-on-one training. I think that's critically important, and we need to do that. So I find that to be very important. Over the course of this last several months, we talked a lot about the CBAs coming in from outside and what that process looks like. And I had a conversation with a couple of outside providers recently, and several of them have chosen to leave the district. So, but I don't like hearsay. So if we could look into what our difference is between those that have started and those that are still here, are we seeing a decline in some of those outside providers leaving? Because that would be a serious issue if we've got those providers that are not able to be addressing our students with significant behavioral needs if we don't have those CBAs there. So if we could just take a note of that for beginning of January, that we see if there's been a shift in the process has hindered that, because we want to make sure our process is not a hindrance, but an asset to our district. With that being said, so that would be really important. I do want to thank all of our staff from superintendent to every single staff that works in our schools, whether it's our custodians, our food service, our social workers, our guidance counselors, our teachers, our paras, our staff at ROSAC or ISC, or any of our leadership. Every single one of you work every single day diligently for students, whether it's 5 o'clock in the morning that you're at schools or it's 10 o'clock at night that you're finishing talking to a parent. Every one of our staff across this district has a focus on our students. And as we move into the next year, I just want to thank you all for your due diligence and your commitment to our students, because it means a lot to our families and our parents, and they are the next generation, and you are a part of that. So just thank you. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Three Kings, whatever we miss. But just have a wonderful holiday season and take this time to regenerate for the next year. Thank you.
Thank you, Member Rendon. So I have a few things I want to share because it's been very, very, very busy. I have some slides of some great things I've been able to participate in or experience or have had the honor of attending. I know they're coming up any minute now. This week I was able to attend the Mort Partnership Breakfast, which is an amazing thank you that Mort says to all the community partners that really give and build in the school. The students always do a beautiful performance. This year we had one of our ESE finalists who spoke, and she spoke about how the community came together after the hurricane and what an impact that had. It's always a beautiful breakfast. The staff works so hard to put it on, and it really highlights, what the impacts have when our communities come together to support our schools. So I just want to say thank you to Mort for that. It's always it's a great event. What's next, Pablo? The Santa Fest. Oh, we skipped it. The Santa Fest. So several of us were able to attend the Santa Fest, which is the downtown parade. We were able to see some other of our principals and employees there, and we all had a great time. We were able to be with the Excellence in Education members. Member Gray walked the entire the parade, and we had a really great day. It was really good. So I just wanted to highlight that. That's always a nice experience. Yesterday, I know you highlighted it, Superintendent Ayers, but I just want to talk about the dedication of the multi-purpose room to Dr. Anthony Quinn. Honestly, it's one of the most moving events that I've been to in a really long time. Talking about impact, from Dr. Quinn's, just his experience as a younger boy, just a pioneer in civil rights, a passionate educator, just a rock of his family, and just a man of God. And to see everyone coming together and how moving this wall and dedication was for his family was just spectacular. Member Washington was there in spirit. He gave a nice little video, and to see the mural come down, it was just great. So I really appreciated to be able to attend that, and I know our community is so grateful for that. And his son spoke beautifully about him. So I just wanted to highlight that. That was a great experience. And what is next? Oh, also, I got to go to Thanona Sassa, which does one of our Kids and Canines, which is just such a great program. You can see here we had some of our struggling readers come, and they're so excited, and they diligently try to read to those dogs and sound out the words. They do a really great job. Then we went into a classroom and we read a book about dog safety and how to approach the dog. We did an echo reading where all the kids call out, "May I touch your dog? May I pet your dog?" every time. And I had spoken about it before, but Thanona Sassa lost their amazing media specialist, Miss Alicia Gazelle, and this book vending machine is part of her legacy. She purchased it. Every birthday, a kid can come down, they can pick a book out of the vending machine, and her mother is actually filling in. She's a retired principal from our schools, and she's filling in right now in the absence of her daughter. So I just wanted to highlight that, and just talk about a school that's really grieving. To have animals come in offered such joy and excitement and such part of healing that it was really a great experience. So I'm really grateful that we have that program in our schools. Is that all the slides that I have? That's it. Okay. Member Combs, the opening of the Community Partnership Center today was great. It was so well attended to see all the members of our community coming together and who were so excited about it. I just hope that we continue to get the message out to our families that it's there and that they know it's a resource. I know we're really good at the beginning about getting it out, but we want to make sure that we're continually letting families know about it, because it will offer such a huge
such a gift to that community to be able to go to kind of a one-stop shop. So thank you for seeing that vision through. And, you know, I just want to say, you know, in closing, just happy holidays. Echo all of my fellow board members. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa. I don't know about the Three Kings, but I think I get it. And any other holiday that we're missing, you know, I spend a lot of time and we spend a lot of time talking about Hillsborough Strong, but, you know, I'm really just so proud of what we're doing as a district, whether it's working together closely with our union to make sure we're doing everything for our employees, to all the hard work that the superintendent does, his cabinet. Again, as Member Rendon said, every single employee in our schools that show up diligently, you know, I think we all are so dedicated to make sure that our students are prepared for life, right? So many people have pointed that out. So happy holidays. Thank you, everybody. I hope you give yourself the permission, as you mentioned, to recharge, relax, find joy in the holiday season. And seeing no further business, this meeting is adjourned.